This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat. Well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Probably Pablo in the Big O Show.
Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping it glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know.
Culture, probably Pablo. Now introducing the man of the hour, Big O, a.k.a. Orlando Gary. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We are ready to rock. We are ready to roll. It's a Tuesday morning. Hello, boys and girls. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, Bill. We are ready to enjoy a Tuesday after Memorial Day weekend.
The sun is out.
Yeah.
It's finally made an appearance.
Yeah, I think the rain, what it did was probably helped some people out there not act stupid. And so, like we saw the idiots in the Ozarks, when they said to open things up, the idea is to open things up with intelligence. Like, okay, you got more freedoms now, you can go out, but don't go out and join 50 people, dude. Don't go join 400 people in a pool, you idiot. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And so I talked a little bit about it yesterday, that too many people are using the excuse, they're taking away our rights. No, they're not trying to take away anybody's rights. We're just trying to protect people so, less people die in the process. That's all we're trying to do, is avoid death. And, listen, you got more freedoms. You can go out places, but try to keep your distance, man. That's all. It's a buddy of mine goes, should I go take a haircut? I go, I'm still not getting a haircut. I'm not going to get a haircut. Why am I going to do that? I'm not. Hey, listen, it's not the first time I've let my hair go. So for me, it doesn't matter. I don't care. So I could let my hair go. I've been trimming my sideburns and the extras, all that around the ears. I can do that on my own, you know what I mean? I can ask my wife, hey, trim the back of my neck, all that kind of stuff. So you can kind of touch it up a little bit on your own, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody else, but it just, be safe, enjoy yourselves, enjoy the freedoms, and get back out there, but, keep your distance, man. Be smart, that's all it is. And that way we can kind of keep that thing down. See, the thing that a lot of us aren't understanding, especially some of the people that are so fanatical about this. And that's the problem in our world, because you got the Democrats that are fanatical one way and the Republicans that are fanatical another way, and you've politicized this whole thing. And it's just kind of finding an even level playing field here. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Just let's stay healthy, because if we are irresponsible because we say, well, we got to get our freedoms and get back out there, well, then all we do is then hurry everybody else up and get sick again, and then, what's called raise the numbers up again, start, sending more people to the hospital, and then guess what? Now restrictions come back again. And that's kind of what we want to avoid. What we want to avoid is a second shutdown. The one shutdown is more than enough, and we have to get the country going, okay? See, I'm not That's the beauty of not being a Democrat or Republican. I don't care about either side. You know what I mean? I kind of look at it as what common sense is. And you can't keep the place closed, and you also can't open it to a point of irresponsibility. So we've got to find that happy medium where people can work, people can be responsible, we can all make some money, pay our bills, feed our families, and stay alive. That's kind of like the trick in all of this. You know what I mean? So wear your mask, man. Be around the people you're only supposed to be around. Don't be dying to rush to a disco or a concert or a loaded pool. You know what I mean? Take it easy. We'll have plenty of time to do all of that. Okay? Even at 53, I'll have plenty of time to go to the beach with a whole bunch of people. I'm not in a rush right now. I'm not. And no one else should be. You know what I mean? So, nice and easy. That's
Your
all.
assessment, the rain might have saved lives over this weekend.
Yeah, it did. It did. Yeah, because it would have made more people go out. South Beach would have been packed, and Crandon Park and all these other places, and everybody would have been on top of each other. And then there's more, because it's not like we've killed the virus.
A typical Memorial Day weekend,
Right.
the whole beach is rented and
Right.
packed.
Right, and I don't think it would have been that, but it's still
Any semblance
But we
of
saw
yeah,
it. No, We
right.
saw signs of it all over the country that people were willing to just gather and join on top of each other. I saw an auto race, a race thing in North Carolina. I don't know what, stock cars or whatever. What the place was, the
A
stands,
little dirt track, local.
and the stands were jam packed. Nobody wearing masks and everybody on top of each other. Memorial Day racing. And again, I get it. You want to do that, but well, then go enjoy the racing, but be apart. Be spread all over the damn track, not all sitting on top of each other in the stands.
And the
You know
other
what I
thing,
mean?
like you said, every one of these shots that I've seen, there's been people crowded. They're not wearing masks.
No, I know.
It's like, come on.
Right. So that's why the idiots that are going crazy about their rights, and it's not about rights, it's about saving lives. Now they're going to go back in the hole again, because if we raise this thing back up again, we're going to have a second shutdown, and then they're going to be really pissed. And guess what? They're only going to be able to look at themselves in the mirror, because the rest of us that were pretty responsible, we're the ones helping keep the curve down, actually. You know, those of us that actually stay home, those of us that wear a mask when you get off, any place I go to, pretty much, I get off, I wear a mask. You know what I mean? Because you have to. I just don't get it. But
Are we
hopefully.
capable of being responsible?
No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. I think some of us are. I think most of us are. But there'll be a group. I mean, you saw those kids in Daytona. The kid was on top of the sunroof. Everybody was piled on. He was making it rain, and they were all fighting amongst each other for the money and all that stuff. And, you know, I know they're young, but they're also carriers. And so they're going to go back and kill their grandparents and their fathers and their mothers and, you know, and things like, and older strangers and whatever, because they're going to be spreading it amongst themselves. So, you know, the idea was to kind of open up your freedoms again, not your freedoms, give you more access, but do it responsibly. And these people that aren't doing it responsibly, they're just setting us all back. And by the way, putting us all at risk. Even the people that do it right, like you and me, we now become more susceptible to catching this stuff because people are not doing the right things. So, you know, it is what it is. What are you going to do, man? Anyway, it's a beautiful Tuesday, May 26th. I hope you guys are safe out there wherever you're at in the country. Hope you had a quiet and safe Memorial Day weekend. Got a bunch of stuff to talk about today on the show. All kinds of stuff to talk about today on the show. Football, basketball-wise. We got a lot of things heating up on the basketball side. Got a couple things music-wise. Yesterday, I sent you a text. I sat there and watched U2 Red Rocks like the whole show. It's just what an incredible thing.
Was this the one that the Unforgettable Fire
Oh, this is Red Rocks. This is like
but I'm talking about the original video that had that red line in it on MTV.
Yeah.
That is the original
Yeah.
back in the day.
Do you know that famous shot from that concert
Where he's got the flag.
Where he's got the flag and
Right.
he's kneeling down, right? Do you know where that shot was taken?
Well, at Red Rocks, I'm getting, but
Yes, obviously
okay.
at Red Rocks, because that's
dude,
what
I've
it's
never
famous
been,
for.
I've never been there.
But you've never watched that full concert, right?
No, only the videos that we saw on MTV. That's got that. I don't know what that red line's doing on that screen.
The Maniac went on top of the roof of the amphitheater.
Oh crap!
While he's singing. Okay, I think it was New Year's Day.
Yeah,
and
yes.
He's up there with the flag.
Glad he didn't fall.
So the guys are jamming, and Bono disappears. They don't know where Bono is. Bono decides to climb on the roof of the amphitheater, risk his life. It's raining. There's he could have gotten electrocuted, because Edge goes, he could have gotten electrocuted. They're all looking around, and then all of a sudden the singing starts, and they look up, and Bono's on top of the freaking roof with the flag. And so everybody's looking up at that. You know what I mean? Because it was just and I never realized that shot was him on the freaking roof of the amphitheater.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm really glad nothing happened.
And if you've been to that amphitheater, you can picture it. You're like, holy crap. And it wasn't like the best day to be out there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I was watching it. So years later, it's just like a little nugget, It's
there
like,
is no doubt that those videos added to U2's popularity.
Oh, no, that concert.
Put it over.
That concert. Well, and they announced that concert was being filmed, and that, and the historic value of it and all that. And they were talking about how they were hoping that it would have been a clear day, but then when they realized it, they go, we're Irish. This is how it should be, cold and damp and dreary.
Doom and gloom, man.
And all that. So it was actually pretty cool. So I don't know if you want, just go to YouTube. I mean, that's the thing about YouTube that I have just enjoyed every single day. I just go surf and find another concert that I want to watch, and I watch concert after concert after concert. Every single day I'm watching something, because YouTube is endless, man. It is one of my favorite things that's happened to me during this whole pandemic, is that while I'm home, I've been able to surf and find out about everything on YouTube. I mean, because there's videos about anything and everything. I've told my wife, and she knows already, that eventually I want to get a Winnebago and just travel the country, right? And I especially want to do the northern part of the country, because I've done a lot of the southern part all the way from east to west. But on the northern part, I need to do more of the
North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
All that area, Seattle, Washington, all that. I've done, and we've done the Great Lakes. Well, we did Niagara Falls, but we didn't do the Great Lakes. So I'd like to do Maine, the Great Lakes, and all that stuff, all the way across. In other words,
I'm missing Iowa, Nebraska.
Yeah.
I've got Indiana, Ohio, blah, but Minnesota I'm missing. And then, like you said, that top, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, all the way out.
So I've watched videos on all kinds of Winnebagos. I've watched videos of traveling and people that live on their Winnebagos and stuff like that, because I've told my wife, we got to get on the Winnebago, get the dogs in the Winnebago, and get lost, man.
So a lot of people
lost.
I've heard about a lot of people their last 2 years, they go ahead and set up, they get one of those $500,000 buses with the extensions and stuff like that, and sell the house, add to it, and live out of the Winnebago the last 2 years, and then
that's what I want to do.
We're retired, we're done, and goodbye. See ya.
That's what I want to do. Get the hell out and just get on the road.
That's my parents' dream. They want to do the same.
Yeah, man. And so I've watched all kinds of stuff like that, and I've watched traveling videos all over the world and everything. Obviously, I get to watch Mike No-Go Zones, but he goes to places that, Mike, I don't know if I'm going to vacation in certain places that you go to. You know what I'm saying? But
you're not going to pull your $500,000 bus out and South Chicago
Libya,
and hang out.
Cruise Libya. Yeah. No. I don't think so. I'll let Mike No-Go Zones handle that. So But yeah, that's the beauty of YouTube, that I've been able to do all kinds of stuff on YouTube and find out about all kinds of different places and things like that. And obviously, for me, music-wise, has been just an absolute blessing, man.
I did watch the Foo Fighters.
Is that
last
an
night.
amazing show?
That
How about the stage?
No, you know what? It reminded me of the U2.
360, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I gotta say, the video quality, amazing.
Yeah.
The crowd,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there.
Well, they're doing a lot of that one's new, but even older videos now, they're digitalizing them.
Yes.
I don't know if that's a word, or they're digitally
Digitizing.
mastering them, if you want to go technical, and they're cleaning them up. And like that Police video I saw over the weekend, it's like an '82 concert, and it's impeccable. The video, the audio was awesome, and there's lots of them that audio is awesome and video sucks. But this was video and audio, and that with the Foo Fighters, it's glorious.
If
dude.
you all haven't seen it yet, go check it out.
Yeah, because I don't know when they're
Incredible.
pulling it,
Right.
And,
exactly.
And it's a great 2-hour show, man. And then you get Page and
One song, yeah.
Paul
when
Jones
Page,
at the end.
Yes, that was, and the way they swapped out, like you said, the drummer and it just.
I thought
it's awesome.
At first, I was like, "Damn!" So he doesn't play the drums normally, Grohl. But then here comes Page, and he's going to play the drums. But then I said, but the drummer normally sings too. So I said, okay, so he sings. But then when they switched, I go, oh, wow, that is so cool, because they both get to experience both with both guys. Get to sing one song and drum the other. And that I thought that was actually awesome.
When you have skills like that, and you're doing Bonham, let me show you that I could do some Bonham.
Yeah. That was good, man. That was good. If you haven't seen that Foo Fighters concert from Wembley Stadium, and they packed Wembley Stadium. And
2008, I think, is the year.
We had this conversation a couple of years back that there are no more superstar rock bands, if you think about it. And our discussion, I remember last time we finished, and you guys kind of convinced me, and you're right. I thought it was Pearl Jam, and it's actually the Foo Fighters is probably the last superstar rock band that has developed. I don't know if there's another one after that developed after that. And when I mean superstar band is you can fill Wembley Stadium, is what I mean. Not arenas are awesome. It's impressive. You're really good, but you're not a superstar act. And the Foo Fighters can fill Wembley Stadium. I don't know what rock band after the Foo Fighters that came. You have to come after the Foo Fighters and have developed. And there's a lot of good ones. Like I love Godsmack. They're not superstar. They're all-star. If we had to do it like in a ranking, that kind of stuff. But is there another band after the Foo Fighters that is out now that is considered superstar like that they can fill Wembley Stadium? They can fill Hard Rock Stadium, that kind of stuff. That's when you're a superstar rock band.
It's 60,000 up.
Yeah. I don't
maybe 50, but it'd be 50, 60 minimum.
Yeah, and that shows you that there's a lot of really good bands, but they're not superstar bands. They're not the Stones, and they're not, and I'm not putting Foo Fighters in the Stones caliber, but they're
closest thing to.
Yeah, I mean,
in today, you know what? They do have it set up for your folks opening up with Fall Out Boy, Green Day.
Green Day, yeah, but Green Day's not really a rock band,
right?
They're kind of
punkish.
punkish.
Yes, they are.
You know what I mean? They're alternative punk rock.
So you're.
I'm talking about a real rock band.
Genre.
Rock. Yeah, I'm talking about rock. That you got to be a ZZ Top. You got to be, an AC/DC, that kind of stuff.
Because of the lack of
Super
rock.
Boom Shack, Coldplay is not. Coldplay's a pop band. You know what I mean? They're not a rock band.
See, that's the thing. You staying with that, John?
And Michael, Linkin Park doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Although that was pretty good, but I don't think Linkin Park can fill Wembley Stadium. I don't think so.
They could fill it with
an arena.
Metallica.
Yeah,
and
well,
when you do
Metallica can fill it by themselves. That's
right.
right. That's why they're a superstar band. Is what I'm saying.
But if you
mean?
got like Linkin Park together with Days of the New and they did, and you know what I mean? You did
think
3 or
about
4
it, bro.
bands.
Nirvana, Pearl Jam, what's it called? Those kind of bands were like the
grunge.
last. They were the last superstar bands, and then Foo Fighters came out of Nirvana.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Definitely, directly.
But if you think about all the new bands nowadays in the last 20 years, none of them are superstar rock bands.
When you put it,
yeah, like my man that put Coldplay, Super Boom Shack. He's right. Coldplay can fill up any
love
stadium.
Coldplay, yes.
I love Coldplay,
And
but they're not a rock band.
And they have a
Talk
plethora.
about a hard rock band.
They
Rock.
have a plethora of songs.
Oh,
The catalog's
Coldplay's
awesome.
No.
Yes.
I'm not denying that, bro.
But genre rock.
Right.
It's
right.
Dude, you're right.
Right.
It's lacking, man.
And by the way, Linkin Park lived on 2 albums. Let's just be honest.
Oh yeah,
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's no way you can become a superstar band and you have 2 albums. I have all of Linkin Park's catalog.
Hybrid Theory and Meteora.
It ended there, bro.
Yeah.
It ended there.
They fell off.
I have all the other ones, and there's 1 or 2 songs in those other albums.
It isn't like from start to finish, you just let it play. No, you got to go, that one's good, that one's
Hybrid
good.
Theory
That's it.
and Meteora, from beginning to end, they were magical albums.
Yeah.
So Linkin Park never got to superstar rock status. You know what I'm saying? But think about that. Foo Fighters is the last band that is superstar rock. I don't know another one. Let me see if you guys have.
You know
come
what?
Up with one.
Every band, because I'm thinking Incubus and
dude, Def Leppard came way before Foo Fighters. Come on, Gio, let's go. Catch up, brother. Catch up. The idea is timeline. Okay, so you have to be late 90s on. Who's a superstar act that's new? Okay, Def Leppard is from the early 80s, my brother.
every band that I think of, it's kind of like
And he follows up with Kiss. You don't understand the subject, my brother. Danzig. Danzig is not a superstar, my brother. Okay?
no. But you know what? They could be like Linkin Park, Danzig, and the 3 of them together could do.
Yeah.
You know what? But it's by yourself.
By yourself.
You. That's the
what
problem.
a superstar act is.
That's the problem, Mo. I think you need a compilation of them.
Oh, we got a super chat already, man. Yeah. Super chat.
No way.
Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat. Thank you. And thank you, Myron, for the first super chat of the day. Oh, today, 1978, David Gilmour releases his first best solo album. Listen to it today after the show. By the way, David Gilmour make Pink Floyd better than Syd Barrett. Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, speaking of our conversation yesterday, nobody puts him in the top 20 of guitarists of all time. But if you want to put David Gilmour top 20 guitarist of all time, I'm not going to argue with you. You see how subjective it is? David Gilmour is one of the great guitarists of all time. All time. But he doesn't fly the frets like Eddie and Igby. So then you don't get that credit. You know, you're not Jimi Hendrix doing it with that pizzazz that he does. And obviously what he established, because he's the Godfather, it's a different flair for all those guys. Gilmour does not do it with flair. Gilmour does it with feel and just an amazing sense that
Timing.
Yeah, it's just
emotion.
It's greatness. He has the magic of Clapton in another way of it. It is his own version of slow hand, in other words. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it's interesting that you brought up Gilmour because I'm thinking about our conversation yesterday.
So you don't have to fly the frets to be good.
You don't know. I mean, because that's not really what Clapton's deal is
Oh man,
either. You know what I mean?
Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
Make that thing wail.
Yeah. Big O, driving a big box in those mountain areas can be a pain. I did them with a nice passenger car, hotel, motel cabins, must-sees, crater lakes, glaciers, canyonlands. Okay, all right. You're probably right, but, it'll be me, my wife, probably the old lady, few dogs. So it's got to be something with some space. But I can see what you're saying. I can definitely understand that.
When you see all those runoffs on the mountain,
yeah,
and you think about, man, can you imagine being an 18-wheeler and going up some of those things?
Yeah.
I'm glad it's there, but, man, can you imagine being up there and stuck and being like, oh, my God.
Yeah. Super Boom Shack says Oasis. Oasis sold out Wembley also because they are English. Okay? So I don't know if Oasis is going to be selling out stadiums here in this country. Like, I saw Oasis in their heyday, and they were opening up for U2. You know what I mean? Now, let me tell you, Super Boom Shack, that's a pretty good one. That's about the closest you're going to get. Now, again, Oasis doesn't exist anymore. They're not around. And they did have more than just their first album. So I'm with you. I've got their catalog. I love Oasis. I know they're both morons, and especially Liam. Liam is probably the bigger moron out of the two. Out of him and Noel Gallagher. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. The only thing I got to ask is, wait a minute, you know what? That doesn't count either. I mean, it's not part of the conversation because they're not a superstar act anyways. But I believe Oasis came out before Foo Fighters. I think.
I would say yes.
I believe that. So,
because you were seeing them opening up for U2.
97.
And I don't think this is maybe about the time Nirvana hits the scene, correct?
No, Nirvana was before that, bro. Nirvana was very early 90s. So this was the end of Nirvana. When did Cobain die? Right around then. Right around then. So Foo Fighters are like late 90s, early 2000s, right?
Nirvana only had 3-4 years, I think. That was it.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. So they only had a few albums. So it may be Oasis might have been before, Foo Fighters. That's what I'm telling you. You think about it, and we've had this conversation before. If you think about superstar rock bands, the Foo Fighters might be the last one.
94. So Foo Fighters is probably, if I had to guess, within a year or two later. So they were right there, right 95, there. 96.
Yeah. So you just look at look at Foo Fighters' discography and tell me which is their first album, what year. I want to say it's like 90. It might be 97, but I'm going to go 98, 99 actually for the Foo Fighters. Something like that. Gio says top best rock bands of the 90s: Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Green Day, Radiohead, Pearl Jam, R.E.M., Foo Fighters, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Pantera. A lot of great ones. Super Oasis is uniquely. Yes, they are. They are. I like Oasis. Super Boom Shack says, you are right. Oasis came before. Myron says, my favorite song is Live Forever. NorCal says, Stone Temple Pilots, my favorite 90s band. Not stadium sellouts, but great 90s band. Amazing.
I'm with you on that. Yes.
Stone Temple Pilots live was so freaking awesome. Okay? I saw them several times, and I saw them in the first go-around. We saw them back in those days.
That was amazing.
For
Coral Sky. 28th row. You know what? I remember it was the third song, and he says, we're going to do the greatest band, the greatest song.
Oh, yeah.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Stairway to Heaven, and they do sex type thing.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments in a concert of all time.
They were great, man. They were great. In fact, I ran into STP on Howard Stern yesterday. I ran into one of those videos. And that was good too, of them performing there for Howard, because Howard always gets that whole thing. Sage says, "What about Rush? You guys, Sage, you're not picking up the conversation. Name me a superstar rock band that came after Foo Fighters. Okay? You got the year for the first album for Foo Fighters? I want to say it's 98 or 99. That's going to be my guess.
It's looking like 95.
Really? That early?
Singles from the Foo Fighters.
Well, singles. What's the first
95.
album? No, 95. Okay, so 95, 96. So it has to be a rock band that came after that, and they can sell stadiums.
It says recorded.
Think about it. There's none.
It says recorded a little bit after your birthday, October 14th through the 20th, 94, released on July 4th, 95.
Okay, so 95 is the first Foo Fighters album. That was a little later than that. Fish sold out 13 straight shows at MSG and did not repeat a single song. Yeah, Fish, well, they're a jam band. So that's a whole different ball game there. But yeah, Fish is definitely and I believe Fish is also before. They're not a superstar band, but they are definitely they got
their
following.
following.
Hardcore following that is absolutely sick. But I think
that's that Grateful Dead. You're a Deadhead, like that tour, like go around the country with them type. You know,
I want to say Fish is older than 95 too.
Yeah, I think so. I think that goes back to the
it might be late 80s. Yeah,
yes.
Might be late 80s for Fish. So it would have to be after the Foo Fighters.
You know what killed?
In other words, it has to be a band that is new the last 25 years.
You know what killed my
basically.
hope of Oasis? When they did the Olympic thing and they would not get together to do the Olympic finale.
Oh, yeah.
And how big that is.
That's
and like
right.
to not even do it for that, it was like,
yeah,
I don't really see these guys like something making them do something to get, because if this ain't going to do it, probably nothing will.
Yeah, no. Those guys, they just act like idiots. Let's see. Big O and Bill, how are you guys doing? Hope all is well. Out of all the players on the Finns, who do you think has the most to prove this season? Josh Rosen, bro. Josh Rosen's the guy, man. He's been crapped on by two teams. They went and drafted two guys to replace him after, a year. He's becoming the forgotten man. He's going to lose out on his entire career. Forget about the Dolphins, because obviously they drafted Tua, so that's really the guy they want now to be the guy. And Tua has all that it factor that comes with it, that when you talk about marketing, oh, my Lord, it is just a gold mine with that kid. Not that Rosen can't be marketed the same way, but it's just he doesn't have that it factor that Tua brings. So Rosen, to me, is the guy that has to prove it more than anybody else. And not because the Dolphins are going to benefit greatly from it or anything, because really his improvement will lead to him getting traded, and so they can get the most value in return. You know what I'm saying? So it's more about personally for Rosen. He's at a crossroad right now, Alex, that if he doesn't figure things out, his career's over. And he's only going to be looked at as a backup and a guy that is just depth. And no longer will anybody look at him as a viable starting option. And that's the part that he needs to keep. It's kind of like us, okay, as single men and women. As you get older, you become less desirable on the market. You know what I'm saying? And you sense it and you feel it as you get older, right?
Shelf life kills you.
Exactly. So eventually, Josh Rosen's shelf life is going to end. His sexiness is going to end. And people are going to look at it and just say, just a jag, just a backup, a guy that we could use for a week or two if our guy gets injured. That's about it. And that's what he's got to avoid. He's got to avoid getting ugly, getting wrinkles. He's got to avoid, osteoporosis. He's got to avoid arthritis. He's got to avoid all the stuff that happens as you get older and you end up on the bench, okay? And they no longer look at you as that attractive person anymore. So Josh Rosen, to me, is the guy that's got more than anything else on the line, because we're talking about a quarterback. We're talking about the most important position in all of pro sports. And this guy has an opportunity of creating that value once again for him, which would be priceless. So Josh Rosen.
You make it sound like this guy's on the verge of getting Geritol, man.
Yeah. He's basically.
You know what? I agree with you. You know who's like right
Basically.
there second? Obviously, X coming off the injury and the issue. See how he comes back. Can Parker do it for 2 years in a row? And can Gesicki continue what we saw?
Right. But for me,
but Rosen's got, because you're right. If he doesn't do it, man, he's going to get labeled and he's going to be a bench guy.
He's done. So it's all more for Rosen than anything else. It has really nothing to do with you or me or the team, or it's not really that all of us are going to benefit from it. It's more Josh Rosen personally. He is at a crossroad. And, I said a couple of days, I think last week, I said, that dog needs to show that he can bite. It's time. And if Rosen doesn't turn the corner, he's going to bury himself. Leo says, I spent the weekend listening to funk music, Motown era, rock and disco, 70s, 80s. I feel sorry for the new generation listening to crap garbage, just boom, boom music, talking, no singing. Yeah, what can you do, bro? It's there's still some really good artists out there, some young artists that are you got to search for them, and you got to make sure that you find whether it's an Alicia Keys or a Gary Clark Jr., you know what I mean, or a Rival Sons or a Greta Van Fleet. You could still find really good artists overall, but they're few and far between. The Adeles of the world and all that stuff, there's only a few of them.
You got to search through a lot of crap.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's so much crap now. That's amazing. Whereas, back in, 20, 40, 50 years ago, there was just more depth in music, a lot more depth. Now there's very little depth, very little talent, and there's a lot of fluff. Back in the day, they gave us fluff. They threw at you the Archies. They threw at you Menudo. You know what I mean? They threw at you whatever, little things like that were fluff crap.
Spice Girls.
Yeah, Spice Girls, things like that. They threw crap at you. You know what I mean? But now, yeah, it's loaded with a ton of crap. So, anyway, Matthew says Rosen is already labeled as a bust, to be honest. 10th overall, pick to back up in 3 years. Well, obviously he's labeled as a bust, but it's not over for him because Drew Brees was a bust for 3 years too. And in year 4, the light went on. And Rosen hasn't done year 3 yet. Sometimes it takes guys a little while to figure it out. Let's see. Would you consider Linkin Park as the next superstar rock band? I would. No, I wouldn't, because they actually don't exist. And we just talked about it. Linkin Park had 2 albums. You can't be a superstar rock band, and superstar rock bands fill stadiums. Linkin Park could never fill a stadium on their own.
2 all-time albums.
Yeah,
Those albums are
the albums are great,
man.
But that's it. You can't be that. You know what I mean? Whereas Foo Fighters are constantly making good music, throughout their history. That's probably why they are the last superstar rock album. All right, let's do this. Let's take a quick break here because we went 36 minutes here to start hour number 1. Dwayne Wade was talking a little Tua. We will follow up with that next.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Alrighty. We are back. We take you till, I have no idea. I really don't. I have no idea how long we'll go. We will go till we go, and we will try to talk as much as we can and try to fill, give you as much talk as we can and fill as much of your quarantine time as you can. Although some of you are working, I hope. Some of you are back into the mix. At least I'm hoping that some of you are back into the mix.
I can tell you on the way in that the traffic was a little ticked up from the standard that's been the last 2.5 months, I would say.
All right. That's good to know, at least, that we got a little bit more in the mix.
It wasn't
right
like
now.
just me and 6 cars at a traffic light. There was actually like 15 or 20 of us.
Okay.
Not the usual 50 or 60.
Yeah.
You know. But
Okay. All right. So not bad there, at least. Did you see before I get into the Tua talk that Wade had with Cameron Wolf, by the way, from ESPN? Did you see that my boys at Chick-fil-A are climbing the charts?
what are they? The Kyle's got to be really happy, man.
Well, fast food chicken chain Chick-fil-A reportedly has surpassed Taco Bell and Burger King in respected industry lists of top 500 restaurants. Chick-fil-A is now second highest grossing restaurant in the U.S. despite not being open on Sundays, thanks to sales growth in 2019, 13% to $11.3 billion. Okay? McDonald's, of course, is number one, which is no shock there. But Chick-fil-A now is number two. I mean, it's number one in my heart when it comes to, fast food, because I will kill for that chicken biscuit, bro.
They're backward ass thinking, though. Like as great as there's always that feeling bad that you're supporting these people with the way they think, some of the things they say.
Yes and no. Because what's been talked about is not what they practice. I'm just saying.
They're always nice and everything like that. And
No, I'm just saying that a lot of what was talked about, if you look at their employees, they don't practice it. That's why I'm saying that
there's been a few people that I could tell and it's like you realize that the company you work for is against you.
Well, maybe they're not. Maybe they're not.
And you know what? They've all said
maybe they're not.
I don't feel it. I don't feel it. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, you should go out and see what kind of public releases they have.
I get the public releases, but what they say publicly is not what I see behind the counter.
All their employees are smiling,
and they're all and it's a variety of people. It's not like one type of person. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Look, man, all I know is that chicken is mesmerizing. I don't know if they have some drug on it that just kind of like twists your mind and makes you a zombie or something like that, like Halloween 3, that they would put on that mask and that thing was there to like, hypnotize them. Maybe that's what they do at Chick-fil-A. Maybe there's something in that chicken that just gets in your mind and it's, in your brain, and it's like a worm that's in your brain and it makes you just think.
You sound like the dad in I Married an Axe Murderer when he talks about the kennel. He put some drugs in it that you gotta crave it.
Yes.
We have a pipe in his down.
So Chick-fil-A is amazing, dude. The fact that they have climbed up to number 2. And listen, they just do things the right way. I mean, that's when you go there, you can't argue with that. They just do it, man. They do it the right way. Let's see. King Short says Greta Van Fleet. Yeah, I like it. King Short's a Greta Van Fleet fan. Drewbo says, can't believe Stevie Nicks is 72 years old today. Wow. When I think of her, I always think of the SNL skit with Lindsey Buckingham. Yeah. That is one of the all-time beauties of rock and roll. Super, super talented and obviously an absolutely gorgeous woman. Let's see. Super Boom Shack says they add honey to the batter. Brother, whatever it is that they do, they got me. Okay? That's all I can tell you, bro. Whatever it is they do, they got me hooked, and I'm done. That chicken biscuit for me is wherever I go, I look for a Chick-fil-A in the morning.
Cows all over the country applaud this.
Oh, man. All right. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Rosendo says, love the waffle fries. I'm with you. I do love their waffle fries. They are really, really good. All right. Wade. Dwayne Wade was talking with Cameron Wolf from ESPN. And so Cam was doing a Tua story. And so he had Wade on to ask him a little bit about Tua. And you all know what Wade has meant to this town. Wade has done things like Marino. Very few players have really controlled the town where everybody gravitates to them and looks at them like a messiah. And in baseball, we never really got there with the Marlins because we've never kept anybody around. It's like Conine's the closest thing that we call Mr. Marlin. But really, no insult. I don't mean to take a shot at Jeff in any way, shape, or form. I love Jeff Conine. The guy is an awesome dude, super classy. But Jeff Conine doesn't belong anywhere in the same sentence with Dan Marino and with Dwayne Wade. Because I'm talking about superstar talents that take over your team and they are the face of your franchise. And maybe the Beezer had a shot at doing it. Jovanowski had a shot at doing it. But we've never had that Panther guy either. And even with the current group right now, Barkov we know is special, but he's not there yet either. And he and his team have accomplished absolutely nothing. And so it's really hard to find another guy outside of Marino and Wade in South Florida history. Tua has that. Tua has the capability. And here's Dwayne Wade talking about the Miami Dolphins need a special Tua Tagovailoa.
Well, I think everybody kind of was hoping that Miami did. Outside of, the unfortunate things that you can't control in football or sports period is injuries. I mean, he's a hell of a player. And Miami, especially at the quarterback position, really need that. But they need someone. They need a leader. They need a player. And he seems like from afar, he seems like someone who, to come in as a young player and win a game in the second half, a national championship game, that shows some grit, that shows some balls, and people have to really believe in you. And so Miami needs that, and the Dolphins need that. So even though I'm a Bears fan, I was rooting for them to get him because Miami, they need to get back to what a basketball program is. You want all the programs in Miami, because of the city is so amazing, to be at a certain level. And hopefully, he can be the starting point, doing that.
And he's right. And we need to get the Dolphins to where the Heat are at. The Heat are considered an exceptional franchise. They do things the right way. And right now, they don't have a superstar either. Because Bam is all-star, but he has not taken that step that he would become a superstar. That's a whole nother level that we don't even know if Bam has in him, right? And the Heat don't have a guy right now. Jimmy Butler is an all-star player, but not a superstar. And the Panthers don't have one. The Marlins don't have one. Well, maybe the Marlins and the Panthers may have one, but he's young and underdeveloped, at this point. But at the moment, neither franchise has it. The Dolphins haven't had one in forever. I mean, Ricky had that potential, but Ricky was here for such a short time that there's no way you can be that guy. This is it. This is it. And we desperately need him to turn the corner. We desperately need him to become that guy that everybody gravitates to and the guy that elevates an entire franchise. It takes special people to be able to do something like that, and he has all the qualities to be that. And that's the interesting part about watching, a guy like Dwayne Wade talk about this, because he's a superstar. He's been there. He's done it. It's Wade County, and now this is the guy that can possibly take that title away of the team of South Florida right now. Okay, while they're all our teams, Tua's the one guy that can kind of make the Dolphins once again the number one franchise in town. Not the number one franchise by our, media, diet that, okay, well, we got information, all that. Dolphin news is always on top of everything, no matter what's going on. But the Dolphins haven't been the number one team in town in a long time. And Wade knows that this is the guy that can possibly put them in that position. And once again, going back to the Rosen conversation that I told you he's got a lot to prove, everybody's forgetting him. I mentioned it in Fitz's soundbite that he doesn't mention Rosen. You hear this, it's all Tua talk. Rosen's behind the eight ball in a big-time way. I don't need to tell you guys that, but that guy better figure it out with a quickness. Now, Dwayne Wade was also asked about how Tua should handle his business as a Miami Dolphin, and I think Wade had, as always, some pretty damn good advice.
Put your head down and go to work. The city of Miami is going to be there. The nightlife is going to be there. The endorsements and all those things, get your money, but don't let them things take away from your main goal and your purpose. And I think early on I did that. And even though I had endorsements, we kept the main thing. And if anything would get in the way of, your time that you need to put towards your body or towards the game or to hang out with your teammates, to build a certain camaraderie, whatever it is, then it doesn't need to be in your life. Football right now for you in that city is the most important thing. Everything else will come as you win. You know what I mean? Yeah. All endorsements, all the people, all of it, Miami, all those things will come and they will continue to be there if you win, especially when with the Miami Dolphins, as their starting quarterback, the sky will be the limit for you. So he's in a great position. He just got to put his head down and just go to work.
That's it. That's great advice from Dwayne Wade. Just go to work, dude. That's all. And what I love about Tua is that that's not going to be a problem. Like, you can tell right off the bat, you can see the work ethic, you can see his priorities, his family is first, He's a team guy. I mean, Tua has got all of it, man.
Just needs to stay upright and on the field, man.
That's it. That's all it is, man. I'm not worried about him hanging out at 3 a.m.
No.
I'm not worried about him surfing and getting on some Kardashian IG or something. He's not going to do any of that stupid ass crap. That's not how he's wired. That's what you love about this. This is one of those Russell Wilson, Drew Breeses,
we got
Tom Brady.
We got a Tim Tebow guy.
Right, yeah, Tim Tebow. Maybe he's not as religious as Tim Tebow, but
he's right there.
But he's wired professionally like all those guys that I talked about. My point is, he's not about, hey, let me go party and then go smelling like alcohol the next day to practice. That'll never happen with Tua because that's not who he is. That's not in his DNA. You can see it. He's just a great young man. Again, he's one of those dudes that I'll be jealous of. Like I tell you all the time. Like some of you out there, you get pissed because Russell Wilson and Tim Tebow are so damn perfect. You know what I mean? And I don't. Some guys out there, they get all bothered by it. Not me. I just know they're better than I am. And they're always going to be better people than I am. I just commend the fact that Russell Wilson and Tim Tebow can handle everything. And Derek Jeter does the same damn thing, too. I don't know how they do it. Because Derek Jeter was in the worst market to be in. And somehow or another, that guy never got tripped up. That guy never lost focus, okay? We could talk about his game and say, oh, he's overrated or he's not, and we could talk about his batting average, and we could get into the baseball stuff. But professionally, leadership, maturity, professionalism, dedication, none of that was ever questioned with Jeter, right? And that's what you have in Tua. You have one of those dudes. They're just the Cal Ripkens, the Tony Gwynns. It's awesome. It's magical when you get those kind of guys because it's just like it's when the Dallas Cowboys drafted Roger Staubach. It's like, oh, my Lord. All right, we got ourselves a war veteran, a hero, an American legend, and a hell of a quarterback and a winner. And it's like, okay, you just know how to do everything the right way. It's just like, how? Because I can't do that. I have so many faults. I make so many mistakes. And I look at guys like that, and I am amazed at human beings like that.
Mr. All-American.
Yeah, it's just Mr. Everything. Just Mr. Perfect. And that's Tua. And if you can keep him upright, the rest,
sky's the limit, man.
The rest is going to work out. We're all going to have Tua jerseys. We're all going to, and I know I saw Cameron Wolf's article that, hey, can he be, the next Dan Marino or bigger than Dan Marino and all that stuff. And of course he can be all of that. You know what I mean? I'm just grateful that we get a chance to see if he can actually achieve it. All he has to do is stay healthy, man. And that's the beauty of you draft a kid that is a pain in the ass. He's got a world of talent, but he's got a ton of baggage that comes with it. And you're just crossing your fingers like, okay, we know he's talented, but can he stay straight? And you don't have to do that with this kid. I love it.
Funny correlation I noticed yesterday, the way you ended the show, ripping the people that are all about, we got to get out of quarantine. Like, hey, the bar's going to be there. The party's going to be relaxed. The way Wade said, hey, Miami's going to be there. Focus right now. Do this. It's going to be there.
Yeah.
Same,
Yeah, no doubt about that. Oh, yes. Yeah, baby.
Recent research has shown
Super Chat.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, you're getting focused on all the wrong sort of details here. You need to forget about all the normal rules that apply in society.
Wasted no time. Super Chat. I thought it was really, 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 really cool.
You should all be very proud of yourself.
I have no response.
Super Chat.
That was perfect.
Thank you. Tommy Italian, 305 for life, my man. I appreciate you, as always, chiming in on the super chat with a super sticker, by the way. Scott, looks like a little coffee. Is that what it is that he's got in there? That's what it looks like. Yeah, a little coffee. So thank you, Tommy. Appreciate it. Eso es un café cubano. Is that what it is? A little Cuban coffee shot? A little legal cocaine? Is that what it is?
Don't do a little one. Do the whole colada.
Oh, man, that's crazy. Rosendo says, love how Tua starts a conversation by putting the Lord Jesus first. Operation Theater says, after watching The Last Dance, how much is Tua resembles Michael Jordan's story? Parents that pushed him, competition with his brother. Yeah. Although, again, he's not going to be gambling till 3 a.m. and then going to play a game. That's where, again, this is what makes Michael, and there's a part of me that when we talk about The Last Dance, I want to say something about The Last Dance that is old school thinking, okay? And this is when we see Michael Jordan going out and gambling till 2 a.m. or 3 a.m, and then the next day he puts 40 on your head. I just want young people to know that that's how it's supposed to be, okay? You're supposed to go to sleep early and dedicate yourself to your profession. So you wake up in the morning and you're as sharp as you can when you walk in that courtroom and you got to argue your case. You should go to sleep early so when you wake up in the morning, you're sharp as you can when you got to do that operation, right? And your hands aren't jittery or whatever, all that. You're supposed to go to sleep early and wake up in the morning so you're sharp, so you got to teach your students. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you choose to stay out late, if you choose to do something extra that is going to get in the way, you're not allowed to use it as a crutch or an excuse for why you failed the next day. And we have that attitude in this society a little too much, that we lean on excuses because of our failures. And when you have a responsibility, you must complete your responsibility. And in the old days, if you told anybody, oh, yeah, no, I was out last night, hey, that's not my problem, dude. That's your problem. And what Michael was doing back in those days is how it's supposed to be. It's really not supposed to be special, okay? If you chose to stay out and if you chose to do something else, then you paid the price, right? Okay? Just like when your parents told you, hey, get to your homework, but you kept working on whatever it was you were doing, playing video games, building a model, talking with your friends, building the clubhouse, whatever crappy other thing you were doing that was entertaining, that you thought your world was going to end if you didn't do it, but then you left your responsibilities, and then the next day your homework is half-assed or not done or only half done, and then you're like making excuses. Well, that was your fault. You know what I mean? And in today's world, it's almost like we get to use these things as a crutch or an excuse. And what Jordan was displaying a lot back in the day was, that's your personal responsibility, dude. You got to show up the next day. So if you chose to party and have a hangover and now you can't perform, well, that's your problem. That's where you were irresponsible. So if you chose that path, make sure you still keep up with your responsibilities. And that's where Jordan is as old school as it gets. Now, Tua, you won't have to worry about that part. He's the guy that will go to sleep early to make sure he is sharp the next day. He's not the guy that's going to walk onto the field like the cornerback, Vontae Davis, smelling like alcohol because he was partying the night before. That's the beauty of Tua. You won't see that.
There's some players that you'd worry Miami's going to mess them up.
Right.
We do not have to be worried about Tua being influenced by the city of Miami
Nope.
and South Beach. And
Tua doesn't care about Madonna. He's not going to go to the strip club. He's not going to go to the Cheetah. He's not going to go to Tootsie's. And I'm sorry, Cheetah and Tootsie's, to disappoint you, but that's just not the place he's going to hang out. He's not going to be at the Clevelander till 3 a.m, not social distancing and all that stuff. He's going to be home, dude. And he's going to be prepared, and he's going to kick ass for the Dolphins. There's only one thing we only got to hope that he stays healthy. That's it, man.
That thinking, it falls under the, if you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough. If you're going to get in trouble, you got to take the punishment. If you're going to do something stupid, you got to toughen it up and get through it.
Hey, Rodman would party and then still get you 20 rebounds the next day.
Oh, when they were talking about running the train around the track the first day he came back, and they had to run around the track 4 times to catch up to the crazy bastard.
Because he's old school. That's old school thinking. Old school thinking is, okay, I got to do this, but I'm not going to fail whatever I have to do the next day. That's old school thinking. New school thinking is, I'm going to go party, and then I'm going to oversleep and make all kinds of excuses and not be able to come in. And because I couldn't do my job or this and that or whatever. And it's like, well, you don't think it had anything to do with you partying the night before? Well, no, that's all right. They pay me anyway, and we got plenty more games to go. That's not old school thinking.
I have a twist to throw in.
What's that?
So we're talking about practice. Where does that fall?
Yeah. It falls with Mr. Iverson, who, by the way, was not old school a lot of times. He would party and then not go to practice and give up and kind of loaf off.
Here's some of those stories when he was down here walking through the hotel lobby at 6 a.m. with 2 girls and stuff, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna have a hell of a game here while you're in Miami.
Yeah. Rosendo says, to this day, I wonder if Jordan's gambling habits forced him to retire the first time. No. David Stern is not going to force to retire the moneymaker of the entire league. Okay? He's not going to suspend the greatest player of all time. Think about that. Think about all the things that go on in sports, and they let it all go. And they give these guys 4,000 breaks. You think that the greatest player of all time is not going to get the ultimate break? Come on, man. Come on. That had nothing to do with suspension. The guy's dad died, and he was mentally burned out. Anybody lost a parent? Because I have not recovered from my dad's death, and he died over 20 years ago. He died 27 years ago almost. Okay? In fact, the week that we started this podcast was the anniversary of his death, which is always really nice to have the anniversary of your death as you're getting out of one job to try to figure something else out, which is always really nice to have in your mind. But that's kind of what it is. Okay? So, no, it was not a suspension at all. I saw Kawhi and Tootsie's here. He loves strip joints, that guy. Well, hey, man, to each his own. Michael Jordan loved gambling. Dennis Rodman loved to party. But they all maintain their responsibilities. And, again, that's kind of, the old school style, baby. Let's see. I don't know. Michael Fan said there could be something with Mob and Jordan's dad. Yeah. Listen, bro, everybody plays Oliver Stone. That doesn't mean you're right. Okay? That's all. Sometimes it is what it is. You get jumped, and if you're parked in the middle of a road out of in nowhere like his dad was, you've got to be a little smarter than that. You put yourself at risk, and that's all. And there's plenty of bad luck happens every single day. People are killed every single day that are innocent, had nothing to do with it. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that's all Jordan's dad was. It was in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's pretty simple. That's all.
Considering the foursome that he would play those $500,000 skin games with, 2 of them we know were shady. You don't think for a second that somebody in the FBI wanting to make a name of themselves would try to correlate his father? Like, they didn't try. You know what I mean? That if something would have.
What are they going to kill him for?
Exactly. Well,
they got all the money. It's not like they don't owe anybody any freaking money.
No, but the thing is,
if Jordan made a bet that he lost, he was going to pay it. He's got more money than God.
Yeah, but understand my point.
God doesn't have more money than Michael Jordan.
If there was something, one of these guys wanting to make a name for themselves would have found something, right?
It's just a bunch of idiots making crap up. Okay, the guy was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he got killed.
Shouldn't have pulled over and fallen asleep.
It's
where he
over,
did.
bro. That's all. It happens every day in this country. People are carjacked and killed. People are jumped and killed. It could happen to any of us at any time because this world is screwed up. We just saw a woman kill her kid. I mean, give me a break, dude. We got a world where mothers drown their children. So you're going to tell me that a guy can't get jumped sleeping on the side of a road? Who the hell sleeps on the side of a road? At least if you're going to go sleep, go to a truck stop somewhere where it's nice and lit up and everybody's there.
I'll tell you where to go. Walmart.
Whatever, bro.
Walmart. The owner of Walmart, one of his family members died. And yes, if you're falling asleep, go to Walmart.
Okay, Bill, we're talking about Michael Jordan's dad. Walmart did not exist in those days. We're talking about reality now.
I'm just saying for
reality is you don't freaking park on the side of a road, bro.
All I'm trying to do is save some people's lives if you're going to do that.
You got to be smarter than that, man. You got to be smarter than that. And that's all it was. It was bad luck. It's just people come up with stupid-ass theories because they got nothing better to do. That's all. You know, when it's pretty simple. The guy doesn't owe anybody any money. It's Michael Jordan. He's got more money than the mob, too, by the way. Not just God. God and the mob combined don't have the money that Michael Jordan has. What's he going to run from? What are they going to owe? It's just stupid theories that people come up with. Why? Because, I don't know, I guess jerking off wasn't on the agenda, so you come up with a conspiracy theory. Because you're either playing with yourself or coming up with a stupid-ass theory. One of the two, because obviously you got way too much time on your hands. I mean, give me a break, dude. It's just so silly. Like, Stern is going to suspend the cash cow of the league. Come on, bro. I mean, have a brain. We're putting people back to work because it's more important to get the economy going than save lives. Right now, we're willing to sacrifice lives so we could get the economy going. Money will always be more important than anything else in all of these worlds. So obviously, for David Stern, it would have been way more important to keep Michael Jordan on the court than suspend him for 2 years. Come on, man. I mean, really, it's just people sometimes, the amount of crap that's in their heads, it's actually amazing. Somebody's going to suspend the cash cow of the league. Yeah, David Stern. Hey, let me suspend for 2 years the greatest player in the history of the game. The guy that brings the biggest ratings, the guy that sells the most jerseys, the guy that just brings in just brink truck after brink truck. In fact, our value in our league continues to soar because of Michael Jordan. Let me suspend him. In fact, the last thing that David Stern would do is suspend Michael Jordan, dumbasses. So anybody that thinks that David Stern would suspend him, you are stupid. Nobody suspends a cash cow. They just don't do that. And knowing Michael Jordan, something tells me he would fight and fight really strong on something like that. Okay? And again, he's got more money than God. He's got more money than the mob. He's got more money than the NBA and David Stern. He could do whatever the hell he would want. Okay? Let's see. What else do we have here? I went back and watched the live video of the pick on Big O channel. What was that? What are you talking about? You talking about what? The Tua pick? Is that what you talking about? Jordan had no worries in Chi-Town. Even the gangbangers loved him. Of course, man. Please, give me a break. Jordan is... There's no way. Versace got killed going to have breakfast by a serial killer. That was jealous of his life. So sad. Exactly. I mean, it could happen to any of us, sadly, at any time in this twisted-ass world. You know? So it is what it is. What can I tell you? Game over 954. Lots of truck driver serial killers. Last place. Hyde Park is where they pass by. Exactly. Exactly. Jordan's dad just made a terrible decision, man. And on top of all of it, he was by himself, which is even scarier. I mean, and you're Jordan's dad, bro. You got enough cash. Go pull into a motel, man. Seriously. Even if it's only for a couple hours. So you throw away $50, $100 on a room and you sleep for a couple hours and you're fresh and you walk out. You know what I mean? I would have done that if I'm Jordan's dad. I got that kind of money. I'm going to park on the side of a road. That's nuts. And that's when you think about all those things, you go ahead and park on the side of the road and you'll see what kind of risk you're actually taking. And when you do that, you're going to remember me. You're going to go, oh, you know what? Yeah, that's right. It makes sense. Why the hell would you park on the side of a road? That would definitely set you up for death, pretty much. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, have we done the second break? Or are we late again?
You're back to normal, man.
All right,
you're
right.
You're running amok.
All right, so let me tell you about EJD Construction here real quick. And let's get a quick break in. I got a couple things I want to get into football-wise. A couple of NFL stories. A dream team story we've got. Speaking of Jordan, we've got there's a really juicy story that's out there in entertainment that I want to talk about. But EJD Construction, call my guy Eric, 305-318-4978. Custom home construction and major home remodeling, folks. So you want to redo that front yard, you want to put in a fountain, you want to build up that man cave, you want to add an extra addition because the family has grown, because more people have consolidated into one home because of the issues going on. Call EJD Construction, folks, 305-318-4978. Tell him that Big O sent you. I promise you, Eric's going to take care of you. That's his cell phone, so you can call him anytime you want. 305-318-4978, folks. Hey, fully insured, $2 million in liability, $1 million in workers' comp. And by the way, when they come to your place, they are COVID ready. They use gloves, masks, along with all OSHA requirements. And when they arrive for the appointment, with a mask and a glove, they will be there, of course, doing it in a responsible fashion. So call the people that know how to get it done at EJD Construction. First responders, you'll get developer rates. Call them 305-318-4978 for EJD Construction.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are back. All righty. Welcome back. We, of course, if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can chime in at 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Let's see. Got a bunch of stuff here. I sent a picture with a caption of Dan in Publix with a mask. I got it, Tommy and Hialeah. Thank you, sir, for sending it. Big O, did you see the Grateful Dead live from Live G from Pennsylvania? I have not seen the Grateful Dead live. I'm really, I like a few songs, but I'm not really a Deadhead. You know what I mean? Like, I like a few of their songs. Don't get me wrong. They're not a bad band or anything. They're terrific. But I've never been like a monster Deadhead guy. So it's never been one of those things that I was dying to go to a Deadhead concert over the years. And so I'm just not the guy. You know what I mean? I've seen Dead and Company, actually, and whatever, it's fine. But I'm just not the Dead guy, Big O, Deshaun Kaiser was also a bust in the first round. No thanks to the Browns. Okay. Big O, what would happen if the NBA and other leagues come back and a couple players get sick? Would that end it for football? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's why when I told you yesterday that Troy Vincent can be aggressive and say, we're planning for full stadiums. Yeah, you can plan for it, but we got to see what happens with MLS now and Major League Baseball and hockey and the NBA. And if those leagues are able to do this without any hiccups, then we're good in football. But if we start seeing players go down with illnesses, then we're up that creek without a paddle. And let me tell you something. You know what also could be hurting football is reopening the country up. I know we have to, but if we don't do it responsibly, like I was talking about in the opening segment, that it's all right. I'm with getting the country back going. I get that. But we all have to be responsible how we do it. Okay? It's not, hey, let's go pack in bars and pools and beaches and let's be all over each other and let's pack in stadiums and concerts. No, that's not what we're talking about. And so that's what really could end up hurting football. Forget about Major League Baseball or soccer or whatever. What if the population starts getting the virus again? The one you got, the players are a little bit more controlled. The people in Ozark and in Daytona and all that are doing all these crazy things, those are the people putting everybody else at risk. Okay? Good morning, my brother. Zach is one of the most underrated and underappreciated players in the history of the NFL. I hope one day he gets the recognition he deserves. That would be a gold jacket and a place in the Hall of Fame. Hope you and your ladies are well. Un abrazo. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. And I'm with you, man. I hope Zach gets in there, man. Big O, you'd love the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State Mountains. Rainforest, beautiful scenery, and a few people to spoil it. Be sure to check out Cape Flattery. It's awesome. Let me write it down. Cape Flattery, Washington. Okay. I will check it out. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the heads up on that, as always. Let's see. Big O, I emailed you yesterday about the internship that you said you had available. I look forward to speaking with you. Yes, I got you, my man. All right, we will look it up. No problem. No problem, baby. And, of course, you can always reach out to me on the accidentlawfirm.com text line there at 786-322-1105. Did you I don't know if I ended up talking about it. Did I talk about yesterday about the hairstylist that got people sick?
Yeah, I think you said 160 people exposed or something.
Yep. And they went right away to get their haircut.
Wildfire.
It's like you went to go get your haircut like right away. It's like, what's wrong with you, man? Don't go. I get it. The hair might be a little disheveled or whatever, but hang it. We all understand, right? It's not like
it's all part of the look right now that you're doing the right thing, right?
Yeah. It's not a bad thing. It's not the end of the world.
Come and join the rest of the club, you know?
Yeah, man. Come on. Take it nice and easy. Relax. It's not the end of the world that your hair is a little long or whatever, man.
Go become a hippie, everybody.
Yeah. I mean, give me a break. Did you guys see Azalea Banks, the rapper? She posted a series of videos to her Instagram account over the Memorial Day weekend in which the rapper, well, she made a series of head-turning claims on famous men and their alleged infidelities. Banks, 28, said that if she came clean about her numerous high-profile hookups, she could ruin a lot of marriages. And then proceeded to name-check comedian Dave Chappelle. She said, I've actually effed a lot of effing very powerful effing men. I should ruin your effing marriage. I should tell the world that we effed. What the F am I keeping secrets from y'all? Now, Dave Chappelle can F me again. Chappelle was a recent recipient of the prestigious Mark Twain Prize for American Humor at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. last year, has been married to wife Elaine Chappelle for 19 years. The couple tied the knot in 2001, and together they share 3 children. Chappelle, by the way, has not commented on Banks' claim. She also claims that Adrian Grenier from Entourage was secretly gay. Because apparently she serviced him one night when they hooked up. Azalea Banks. Now, this is, look, I'm not condoning it in any way, shape, or form. But if you know that you could ruin somebody's life, why are you doing it, Azalea Banks? And then here's the other thing. So Dave Chappelle can walk away from, what was it, like $50, $100 million or whatever it was? I think it was like 50, actually. 100's a little exaggerated. But I think it was, the Chappelle show was $50 million. You cannot, like, stay away from Azalea Banks. Like, you can't, like she's that. Put it this way. If Halle Berry comes after you, I pretty much understand any married man that would give in to Halle Berry. Okay? I mean, it's Halle Berry, one of the most beautiful women in the history of the planet, period. You know what I mean? I get it when it's somebody like that. And not that any of us would ever have that opportunity, right? It's not like Raquel Welch in her prime and you're in your prime and she's going to go out seeking you to cheat on your wife, right? We know that that's not going to happen. But if it did, okay?
Halle Berry.
And if it was Halle Berry, it's understandable, okay? Azalea Banks? Really? Really? Beyonce. Okay. Azalea Banks? That really? You're going to risk your marriage for Azalea Banks? Come on, Dave. Dave.
Little head doing the thinking for the big head.
Dave, come on, dude. If Halle or Beyonce are telling you, I want you, I kind of get it. I get that one. I can understand. Azalea Banks? You're going to walk away from your $50 million show, but you can't walk away from banging Azalea Banks. And now you know how ratchet she is, that she's just going to talk about it with everybody. That's the other thing. I mean, that's just so scummy on her part. So you're willing to be a home wrecker, right? And then not only are you willing to be a home wrecker, but then you're also willing to do it publicly too. Okay, you know the guy is married, so you're going to bang him. So that doesn't say much about you, Azalea Banks. But then you will add on top of all of that by then ratting the guy out and putting him in a terrible position.
She's a very classy broad.
I tell you, I read that story and it was just like, man, it's just gross. Just gross. Anyway, we're going to tell you. David says, having driven 81 and 95 from New York to Florida maybe 30 times, no way I'm sleeping at a rest stop at night. Of course not, man. You get a hotel, dude. Okay? Let's see. What else do we have here? Ty says, I will never support Tua. He's brittle. I'll support the BET Myron Sanchez. Well, wait a minute. If you're a Dolphins fan, Ty, how do you not support Tua? How do you not support anybody that plays in a Dolphins uniform? That doesn't make sense. You've got to support every player that plays a Dolphins uniform. Maybe you could say, hey, I love Tua. I support Tua. I don't think he's going to be able to stay healthy. Okay. With the injury history, I can see that. But I won't support Tua? I mean, I've seen a lot of bad players that have played for the Dolphins. I support them. Even if I think they can't play, I want them to do well. Flipper13 says, Halle Berry in the 90s once sided up to me next to a window shopping at Santa Monica Promenade. And I'm sure that was an exciting moment in your life. Jean-Luc the Juice Man says, she's as crazy comes. Now, you talk about Azalea Banks or you talk about Halle Berry? Because, you could be talking about either one. How do you spell Azalea? Azealia. I guess some people want to see how she looks. Let's see. What do we have here? And George says, come on, Ty, you have to support your QB, man. Of course, you have to, bro.
We're even supporting Rosen.
Yeah, dude. I never thought Tannehill could take us anywhere, but I was rooting for him while he was in a Dolphin uniform, even though I knew he wasn't really going to ever be the guy, All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Michael Jordan, we were just talking about old school, that's what Michael is all about. There's an audio now that has been released about Michael Jordan. And in that audio clip, it has Michael confirming that he didn't want Isaiah Thomas on the Dream Team. And this is from Jack McCullum, the Dream Team Tapes. It's a podcast that seems to confirm that that Michael, by the way, did not want Isaiah on. And let me let you hear the audio. It's audibly, remember, this is from way back in the day in the early 90s. So this is not great audio.
Is this a reel-to-reel, maybe?
I don't know. It's just maybe, you never know.
Or just a cassette.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But we cleaned it up as much as we can. So you're going to have to listen really good, and you can hear the audio of Michael and Rod Thorne, I believe, talking about the Dream Team, and then obviously Michael making his comment about Isaiah. And there's something else in there, too. Go ahead.
They called me to ask me to play. Rod Thorne called me and said, Rod, I won't play with Isaiah Thomas on the team. He assured me, he said, you know what? Chuck doesn't want Isaiah. So Isaiah's not going to be a part of the team.
And you hear Michael there say, Chuck doesn't want Isaiah to be part of the team.
They called me to ask me to play. Rod Thorne called me and said, Rod, I won't play with Isaiah Thomas on the team. He assured me, he said, you know what? Chuck doesn't want Isaiah. So Isaiah's not going to be a part of the team.
So, talking with Rod Thorne and obviously talk about how he didn't want to be on the team if Isaiah's on the team, and that Chuck also didn't want him on the team. So there's at least two of those guys. There were a few more guys. Now, as more of this continues to come out, 30 years later, and this whole thing continues to unravel, again, as a person that lived that era, as a person that watched every moment of that era back in those days, I watched all of these stars when they were in college play, okay, including Isaiah Thomas. If you're young, you didn't live it, so you don't know it, you don't experience it. And maybe some of you out there that are my age or older, maybe you don't remember a lot of it. And I've talked a little bit about this in the past. Isaiah Thomas was a dirty player. Isaiah Thomas took all kinds of cheap shots. Isaiah Thomas was a guy that was a backstabber for many people. Isaiah Thomas is not a guy that anybody has real sympathy for. And I get it because it's 30 years and because people have short memories and because they either are lazy, they forgot, they don't know, and then they try to build up and make some case for Isaiah. Look, Isaiah was a great, great player, man. One of the greatest players of all time. There's no doubt in my mind. But once again, I will tell you, Isaiah was not missed. Nobody cares, really, in the end, that Isaiah was not on that dream team. The only ones that care are maybe some butthurt Pistons fans and Isaiah. But most of those players on that team, they don't lose a bit of sleep that Isaiah wasn't on there. And most fans that watched Isaiah know what Isaiah was all about and how he was, what he was made of. And while he was a great, great player, he was not liked. That's just the bottom line. And, people can come up with all these, tapes or whatever, and you want to paint Michael the bad guy in all of this. The bad guy was always Isaiah Thomas. Always. Every second of every day, Isaiah Thomas and those guys, the Piston bad boys, were the bad guys. And Isaiah was the ringleader out of all those guys. And he was the first guy to take cheap shots. That's why when Parrish knocked the crap out of Lambeer with those two forearms, that was so much frustration being built up of all the cheap shots that team took. And it was led by Isaiah Thomas. So again, I just want to reiterate and talk a little bit more about this, because every time they bring it up, I just want to remind people that Isaiah Thomas was a horse's ass. Okay? As great a player as he was, it's just these are the kind of guys that if they get screwed, you don't care. It doesn't affect you. You don't lose any sleep whatsoever. Okay? So I'm glad that that Michael actually took that stance. Okay? I'm really glad, because that guy got what he deserved. And I'm glad to this day it still bothers Isaiah Thomas, actually. Because maybe, okay, I doubt it, but maybe deep down inside there might be some remorse of how he carried himself too. I just hope that. Okay? Oh, let's do it. We got a little super chat. I love it.
I know that, dude. Where'd you get this?
Super chats.
Oh, gnarly. Awesome. Totally awesome.
All right, love it. Big J doing big things, chiming in on the super chat. Big J, thank you, sir. Appreciate you giving us a little love here on the super chat. Very, very kind of you.
I think maybe Isaiah's a little bit upset about kind of being outed. You know?
Maybe.
Because,
I don't know. I don't know if enough people are talking about some of the things that I talked about. They kind of lean on the whole, well, Jordan wanted him out. Why was that? That's not so nice. And he's a great player.
It wasn't
and
just him, man.
And well, you just heard there also Chuck didn't want him there.
You know the Magic, the way their friendship deteriorated to nothing.
For sure. And I'm sure Bird didn't like him either.
No.
Okay? So it just, to me, please.
Let's not go on. Half of that team probably did not want that guy there.
Right. Probably.
Because the way they said it, this is kind of like hanging out at summer camp. And do you want an idiot that you're going to have to hang out with for the next, month?
Right.
Is the way they talked, because they were in close quarters and always around each other.
Amen. 1,000% right, dude. You are 1,000% right. I'm sure that's what it was about. And I just want to keep mentioning, because I want to keep reminding people that he was not a good dude on the court. Okay? All right? That's all. I'm not talking about anything off the court or anything like that. He's not a criminal or nothing like that. I'm just saying, in basketball, he was a king-size jerk. And if they treated him that way, then that's what he deserved. Because he was that, man. That's all. I just, I'm not going to allow any sympathy to build up for Isaiah when he deserves none whatsoever. Did you see what Eminem did? Kind of crazy, but then again, I think it's kind of cool because it really doesn't get in his way. Eminem released his cell phone number.
What is he, nuts?
Yep. The
crap.
fans are called stans, right? So his 2000 hit single, he invited them to text him at 666-7440. Okay? All right? 313-666-7440. He invited them. The real Slim Shady wrote, text me. I'll hit you back in Instagram and Twitter posts, both of which quickly went viral. The 47-year-old dropping his digits 2 decades after releasing his third album, Marshall Mathers LP, which remains one of the fastest-selling albums ever, Billboard reports. Dear Stan, I meant to write you sooner, but I'd just been busy, writes Eminem in his caption. And then he says, yo, it's M. Hit the link to get added to my contacts. I'll be back with the plans for this week. M is referencing the online listening party scheduled for this week to celebrate the anniversary of the Marshall Mathers LP. His response included a link where eager stans can add themselves to his contact list, presumably get updates on the Encore Rappers concerts and events. Now, this is a number that he got on the side and all that, and he's got some PR person that's probably handling it and all that. You're really not contacting him. He's really not with the phone at all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I do like this because I think it's cool. It's a way of him connecting again. In today's world with what's going on, I just find it kind of cool that, that you would be doing something like this and gives you another opportunity to connect with fans. I thought that was pretty awesome, man. Now, whatever show I want to watch this show, although I don't know if there's going to be some what's it called? Some type of limitations or something like that to it.
Guess who's getting a new cell phone number very soon?
No, I don't. I'm telling you, it's not his cell. It's just a promotional cell that he got from,
So this is like 8675309?
Yep.
It's not really Jenny's number?
Yeah, no, definitely
you
not.
You get Joe's Sushi Shack?
Yep, no doubt. Myron Sanchez has chimed in for a second time on Super Chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Says, I can't wait for Niners versus Dolphins anywhere. Let's go. I'm with you, Myron. I can't wait. Although I'm not looking forward to that damn D-line you guys have because that's a bitch of a D-line. I'm hoping that my Dolphins offensive line is straightened out. We get another one. Yeah! I love it. So Tommy Italian 305 chimes in on the Super Chat for a second time today, and he wanted to get back at Myron by saying, your 49ers get whipped because Miami picks off Garoppolo 3 times. Tommy Italian 305 for life. I love that prediction. A Garoppolo 3 interception day. I'm good with it. Myron, I know you're not going to be happy with that, but I got to tell you, I'm rooting for that. Okay? That to me is pretty sweet. So there's a little run going on right now on the Super Chat as the Cookie Vice has chimed in. Thank you, Cookie Vice. I appreciate you, man, chiming in on the Super Chat. Appreciate all of you out there giving us some Super Chat love. Oh, Alexa V again. Wow. We are in a Super Chat run right now.
I know that. that, dude.
Where'd you get this?
Super chats.
Oh, gnarly.
It is awesome. Thank you all. Very kind, very humbled. I appreciate all of you helping us out there, as always, and supporting the show any way that you can. Remember to click and subscribe and share the link with friends. Send it to them on a text, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram post, however it is you want to share it. DM people. Please share the link and tell them about us. Yes.
The San Fran, Denver, isn't that like in October?
Yeah, it's early.
It's the 5th, 6th, something.
They're like back-to-back.
So our offensive line, this should be a really good test for them. You know, they've had 5-6 weeks.
Yeah.
Look, you're going up against the best D-line probably since the Giants that beat up the Patriots. Yeah.
Nasty.
It is. Tell me what defensive line has that depth.
Nasty.
Right?
Nasty.
It's the Giants.
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yep. No doubt. Nasty.
So it's a hell of a test for us.
Yes, it's an enormous test for the Miami Dolphins offensive line. That's why I want Fitz starting at that time. I just don't want to throw Tua back there. You know, the people who want to throw Tua in there is just it's crazy.
No.
I laugh when I see that it's actual ex-players saying stupid stuff like that. Alex says, as long as the Dolphins can finally learn to stop the run, they have a chance. Jean-Luc says, I think the front seven will be much better against the run, but I don't know about the pass rush. I think the pass rush will be better, too, for the Dolphins. And the secondary, because it's so improved, it's also going to help out the pass rush, too. David says, Raptors repeat in the NBA, Bruins Cup win in the NHL, and Yankees win short baseball season. All right? Interesting. I don't know why you would pick the Raptors. David, that sounds like a complete homer pick because the Raptors are not the best team in their own conference. And I don't see them better than Milwaukee, and I certainly don't see them better than any of the two Western Conference teams at the top, the Lakers or the Clippers, of course. You know? So I don't know about that one, man. We got to thank Hank Goldberg's left nut chiming in on the Super Chat. I love it. And thank you, Hank Goldberg. And he says, why not? Let it rain, Big O. Show us some leg. I love it. All right. Anyway, if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can reach out to us at 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Hey, congratulations to former University of Miami linebacker Anthony Chick-fil-A. And Anthony's one of those guys that I think a lot of us, we grew to like him, obviously, because he was a legacy kid. And then we also built up a lot of sympathy for him because Al Golden mishandled him, played him completely out of position, which didn't help him to set up his skills and showcase his talent to the NFL. And so when he got drafted, which obviously I think it was either late in the draft or undrafted, what was Chick-fil-A? I forgot now. 6th-round pick. So back in the day, he dropped in the draft a lot because obviously he played out of position and a position that he wasn't going to play at the next level. Figures he went from defensive tackle for the Canes to linebacker in the NFL. Okay, that's quite a challenge. That's quite a change there for a guy like that. And Chick-fil-A obviously developed in Pittsburgh, had a nice little career. Just signed with the Saints and signed a 1-year contract. And I just want to say that because this is a guy that's kind of forgotten, but personally for me, I've been always rooting for the guy and following his career in Pittsburgh and always rooting for the best. Not only because he's a Cane, because I felt terrible for him on how his career was so mishandled here in Coral Gables that you want to see when Sam Shields, who wasn't a major factor here, then became a really nice NFL player. You know what I mean? And when we had the returner that played for you guys for the Bears, what's his name now? I'm forgetting him.
Devin Hester.
Devin Hester was underused here. They didn't even know how to use him here. And then he became the greatest returner in NFL history. You know what I'm saying? And those kind of moments for me personally, Greg Olsen wasn't really, he never really came close to reaching his peak here. You know, there was a time for a while here with the Canes that so many guys underachieved, and it wasn't their fault. And they proved it because then they go to the harder league, and they go and Greg Olsen goes and has a Hall of Fame-like career almost. You know what I'm saying?
Sam Shields, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Sam Shields, awesome. But so many of them. I mean, Frank Gore underachieved here. Frank Gore was overweight and had the knee injury and all that stuff, and he went on to have a Hall of Fame career in the NFL, still playing. You know what I mean?
See, number 4 all-time rusher.
Yeah, and so for me, I personally take a little pleasure in watching Chick-fil-A fight back his way into this league, kind of have to prove himself at a completely different position because the NFL people knew what he was. Al Golden and that moron defensive coordinator of his, I even forgot the loser's name on defense. I'm sure one of you will bring it up for me and remind me.
Yeah, that was that don't attack. Hold your spot. Like, what do you mean you're not going to send the defensive ends and linebackers after the quarterback?
Yeah,
Seriously? Come on.
When you're on the 1.5 yard line, our linebackers are standing in the back of the end zone. So anyway, they didn't know what to do with the kid. And I felt his frustrations at the East-West Shrine game. I remember talking to him there. And not that he publicly said anything or even slammed anybody, but you can sense it. That he knew he was up against it, you know, because of what happened at the U. And it was a tough time for it. And we're all hoping that Manny Diaz can kind of change the ways because you still have players that are leaving earlier than they should. They're not getting drafted. They're not producing a lot of high picks anymore. All of that needs to change, man. And mistakes like Anthony Chick-fil-A, that can't happen anymore. You can't do that. When you do those kind of things like you do to Anthony Chick-fil-A, it sets your entire program back because other parents and other players are going to see that you mishandled the guys that are previous, and they're going to say, well, I can't send my son there. You don't even know how to play them right. You won't use them right. You won't showcase him right. You won't teach him. You won't make him the better player that he can be. And that's not what this place used to be. This place was the place where you came to find yourself. This was a place that at the U, you ended up developing into something you didn't know you could be, Warren Sapp or Ed Reed or Santana Moss running track in Carroll City. And hey, yeah, let's just give him a scholarship, and the rest is history. This place has got to get back to that. And Anthony Chick-fil-A is one of those guys, not to the extreme of Devin Hester, not to the extreme of Frank Gore, but a guy that this university did not do him justice. And I root for the guy, man. That's all. I just want to say that because when I see him continuing his career, I'm really, really happy for him.
Just to pile on the bad coaching, I remember Sam Shields and the coaches up in Green Bay talking about the fact that this guy didn't know how to read film. He didn't know how to cover, but he was the fastest guy at UM. And they didn't know how to use him. I can remember it was a Sunday night game. We were up against Oklahoma. And on one possession, they go 80 yards. It's 2 bombs against Sam Shields. And sitting there like, how is it that the fastest guy on the field is getting burned? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just, and that's what's got to change. And it's got, Manny's got a lot of work ahead of him, man. So we'll see if they can get it done. I saw a pretty funny story with the Knicks. And the Knicks obviously are that team that is always entertaining. And LaMelo Ball, according to a report, has the highest upside, they say, of any 2020 NBA draft pick, according to Rob Douster. The 6'7" guard has fantastic handles, elite court vision, which makes him dangerous off the pick and roll. Ball supporters see a guy who could have a Trae Young all-star kind of offensive impact. Now, there are serious questions and doubts about whether Ball can reach that ceiling. Why? Because LaMelo Ball lacks consistent shot, especially from deep. His decision-making needs work. His defense is not good at all, and there are lingering questions about his work ethic. Okay? But the Knicks, in need of a star, are willing to take a big swing and hope Ball can be the home run. He's the top point guard on the draft board, according to Mark Berman of the New York Post. He put, the Post has learned unequivocally that LaMelo Ball is currently the top-rated point guard on the Knicks board. Don't you love how the bad NBA teams, everything gets out? And then the really good ones usually, like, you don't find out anything that's going on with the Heat. You don't find out anything that's going on with the San Antonio Spurs. They're not, like, telling you what they're doing. The Clippers aren't telling you what they're doing. Hell, we all got surprised with Kawhi, right? Like, Kawhi was, like, surprised. Oh, no, I'm going to the Clippers, not the Lakers. All the reporters had him, no, he's going Lakers. He's going Lakers. Anyway, that should hardly be surprising, knowing the new president, Leon Rose, likes to shoot for stars. Knicks officials believe the 6'7" playmaker driver has one of the higher upsides in the entire draft, despite his lack of three-point shot. Rose has already dealt with outspoken father LeVar Ball when his sons were briefly with Creative Artist Agency. So that's the other thing. And this train wreck is so awesome, right? Because now the other Ball is going to go to New York. Now we have to also deal with LeVar Ball. And then we have to deal with my fellow media idiots that want to give LeVar Ball the time of day. Because it pisses me off that media members give this clown 1 second of airtime. And they only do it because we are in this train wreck society, and LeVar Ball is a train wreck. So let's air every train wreck we possibly can. And clearly LeVar Ball, embezzling everything else that's happened with Lonzo's career. Now LaMelo, and I don't know if LaMelo is taking charge of his career or he's going to allow his dad to screw it up like he did with Lonzo. I'm not sure how this whole thing's going to work out, but I'm just saying the LaMelo stuff, it just kind of sets up for a beautiful, just train wreck right there in MSG with LeVar, LaMelo, the New York media, the Knicks continuing to suck. They're continuing to be a joke, all of that. I just love how it's all come together.
May LaMelo Ball be the next Jeremy Lin.
Yes. Oh, man. I saw that, and it's brewing, right? Now, I know that they would have to win the lottery and be one of the top. I don't know if the kid is number 1 or number 2 or number 3 overall, but it sounds like LaMelo is going to be one of the top picks in the college draft. But wow, I saw that, and you put the Knicks in it. Oh man, I love it, man. I absolutely love it.
Do you know what you've done?
Well, before we take a break here at 1:00, okay, because I know where you're going, let's give a little love to putting in Phinsider for... I love it. Thank you, sir. Putting it Phinsider with a super chat. He says, let me jump in with some of this alcohol money I didn't get to spend on Memorial Day weekend.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Putting it
Sorry, yeah, the whole thing got rained out.
Hey, listen, it might have saved you from getting COVID from somebody. So I don't know. I'm glad putting it Finsider. You're supporting us and you're watching and you're listening and all of that. But I want you to be safe too. So maybe you were safe by staying home this weekend too. You know what I'm saying? So nothing. It's not the end of the world to be home, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't understand why some people make it sound like it's jail or something. You know, I just
listen.
There's a huge difference between jail and being home. There's a huge difference between being in a mental institution and being home, being in some kind of penitentiary and being home. Trust me, folks, being home is not that bad. You get to just hang out, chill out, relax. And you can enjoy life even from your house too a little bit, okay? There'll be plenty of time to go out, man.
10 years ago, man, I would have totally felt differently. Okay? Everybody's different, but if you're one of those people that goes out, this is driving you crazy, man.
I mean, listen.
Cabin fever, four-wall syndrome, closing. Yeah, if you're one of those people, man, it's hard.
But don't let it build up, man. Make the best of it. Find things to do. Have fun with what you're doing, even if you have to be home, even if you can only be around your neighborhood, even if you're keeping it limited. It's not going to be forever. It's not going to be a year. It's not going to be 10 years. It's just a couple of months. And then we get back to our lives again. I'm dying to go to concerts again, but I'm not going this year. Even if there's one in October, I'm not going to a concert. I'm going to hold off probably till next year or something. I'll probably wait till there's a vaccine. Or I make sure that we really got a hold of this. And it hurts me not to be able, when concerts restart again, it bothers me. Okay? But a lot of bands are actually doing the smart thing. They're setting it up for 2021. I'll give you an example. The Doobie Brothers just posted this morning. They have rescheduled their 50th anniversary tour, which now will take place in 2021, which makes it their 51st anniversary. It's their 51st anniversary celebrating their 50th anniversary tour. And they will be at the I Think Amphitheater July 17th next year. Okay? And then they'll be in Tampa the next day on the 18th. And then they'll be at that terrible place that's really cool to hang out, but acoustically it sucks, Daly's Place in Jacksonville on the 21st. And by the way, for those people out there at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, can you please fix the freaking acoustics? Because Bill and I one day are going to want to go back up there again because there's going to be a really good band that we want to see, like Greta Van Fleet.
Love that place, man. It is so cool.
It is actually while it has terrible acoustics, it is, how would I say, strategically, it is crafted as one of the best venues in Florida.
That was perfect.
Right?
The way it's hooked up with the football stadium. And
the relaxing areas and all that.
Yes.
I love the way they designed Daly's Place. There's only one knock on Daly's Place, and there's too much echo. And you've got to find a way to kill off the echo. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you as a music snob.
If you make it acoustically correct, that place would be amazing.
I would drive up there all the time.
Because even in the crowd, even when we went,
yes,
even when we went and sat,
yes,
it's comfortable.
Super.
You're not like on top of each other.
Daly's Place is one of the coolest spots to see a concert. I'm just warning you, the acoustics suck. That's all. That's the only thing. And, as a concert snob, it bothers me. All right, let's take a break. Hour number 3 is next, right here on The Big O Show.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
All right, we are back here, hour number 3 of the program. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can reach out to us at 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. One gentleman says, RVA in Richmond says, actually, 49ers front reminds me of the 74 steel curtain. They're just as nasty, pretty much, man. That Niners front, man, it is awesome. What Lynch has done there in such a short time is really amazing. Got to give him a lot of credit. Jess in Minneapolis says, last night, YouTube, Minnesota man killed by cop. This is why they kneel, bro. Yeah. Yeah, there's we all know that there's always a reason why.
I saw that story. Did you see it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't breathe. You know. Yeah.
That's yeah. Well, how about the lady with dragging her dog, and then saying that the black guy is assaulting her or whatever because the black guy's saying you should put your dog on a leash, like he's doing nothing except like being like a decent human being and all that, and then she acts like a raging, racist bitch that she is. But I'm so glad that there is video nowadays on all this stuff, right? Because we could bitch and complain about technology, but I'm glad because technology catches these racist cops. Technology catches this racist bitch going after this guy. Technology catches that disgusting woman, attempting the first drowning of her child. And so I get it that it gets in the way sometimes of things that we want to do, but at the same time, it's also exposing and protecting a lot of things that could have happened behind the scenes, and then it's all hearsay, and it's he said, she said. When there's video, there's no he said, she said. You clearly see that that white woman is a stinking racist, and she's also an animal abuser because she's also abusing her dog at the same time. So both things were disgusting me with that lady. But yeah, so I'm glad that we have video because we have things like this that people don't get away with it now.
Speaking of such, has that ass clown that was out in front of the Publix on South Beach been outed yet?
Oh, I don't
that
know.
day?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because these are the people that serves that purpose perfectly. Like, who is this moron?
If there's an article out there, don't send me a name because I can't believe that, okay? But if there's an article out there from a legitimate news source that outed him, for the dude from Publix in Miami Beach, send it in. Send it in. John Santos, is it Pelican? Let me see. Is it Pelican Padilla? John Santos, Pelican Padilla, yes. Thank you, John. Appreciate you sending in the super chat. And he says, can I join the bandwagon sending the super chat? I said, yes, you can, John Santos. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. We appreciate you for supporting us as you do every day, actually, okay? Watching and downloading and all that good stuff and super chatting now, too. Jordan Knighton says, do you think the L.A. Rams will have a bounce-back season? No, I don't, actually. I think the window closed on the L.A. Rams, my man. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's over for the L.A. Rams. They had their opportunity, and now they're going to have a whole bunch of problems. I think they've mishandled all kinds of issues with the cap, and I think they overpaid the wrong quarterback. When it's all said and done, the Todd Gurley deal was a complete disaster. They've traded for Jalen Ramsey, and now they put themselves in a position that they have to make him the highest paid player on the team, and that's going to also cause some ripple effects, not because of the player, it's the salary. And you can only cover so many salaries. So, yeah, I don't think the Rams are going to be bouncing back and challenging for anything in the NFC. I may be wrong, and it won't be the first time, my man, but I think the Rams are on the decline now. I really do. I think the Rams had their window, and now it's closing, unfortunately, for you guys, if you're a Rams fan. Let's see, what else do we have here? Tommy Italian 305 for Life says, I got an autistic son that hurt me so bad. No, I mean, Tommy, whether it's autistic or not, the thought of you drowning your child, how does that even cross anyone's mind at all? How could anybody even think, I wake up this morning, I'm going to go drown my child? How? That's not something that, it can't even cross your mind as a joke, okay? Much less that it actually went through your mind, and then you're now actually following through. You know what I mean? I just, the level of disgust that I have for that woman, like I said yesterday, please release her to general population. That's all I'm asking. General population took care of Jeffrey Dahmer. General population will take care of her. Okay? That's all. That's it. But Tommy Italian, you sir, you hang in there, my man. I know it's not easy, but you are doing the right thing, loving and supporting your child, because that's what you're supposed to do, no matter what. I mean, My Lord, that child, what it needed was love and support for its life. And you're thinking of just hurting him? I mean, I can't imagine a child leaving our world in those conditions and in that situation, that woman has given up on that child, has told that child basically that you do not matter and that death is what matters for you. Instead of focusing your life as a mother and saying, how can I make his life better every day? How can I bring a smile to my son's face today? And that would be a great day for you as a mother, for him as a child, and for us as humanity. This, my Lord, I just, this is the kind of stuff that I can't even think about it. I tell you. 11:05. One guy says Chick-fil-A is to replace Kiko Alonso. That's interesting. You know that to kind of bring it full circle, right? I mean, Kiko Alonso, give me a break. What a move by the Dolphins. What a move that we have clowns that wanted to trade for Kiko Alonso. We have fans out there that were even buying into Kiko Alonso, which, again, some of you out there, I don't know what you see, right? Oh, he makes an interception. You think he's a good player. No, he's not. That's why stats really don't always tell the whole story. You know? And it's weird. And people were falling for Kiko Alonso, man. And I think also people were falling for Kiko Alonso in this town. It's because we had the Hispanic stuff going on. All right? Let's be honest. We got a lot of Hispanic people. We got a lot of Colombians and Cubans in town. And so some guy comes into town that can actually play football that has Colombian or Cuban descent, and we're like immediately rooting for his success blindly. You know what I mean? Luckily for me, I don't follow that stuff because of nationality. I actually follow a player whether he's good or he's bad. That's it. I don't care where they come from. You know what I mean? That's not going to help me. My team's not better if I have 15 Bahamians or 15 Argentine guys or 15 Brazilian guys. Doesn't get any better. Are they 15 really good players? That's all I care about. Don't care about their nationality, color, whatever it is they come from. Doesn't matter to me. But that Kiko Alonso thing, there's no doubt that there's a part of it in here that, locally, it was because he was Hispanic. They didn't just look at him like, well, he can't cover, and he's undisciplined as hell. But, when in town, when you've got people that cover the team and some of them are former players and they're getting suckered by Kiko Alonso, it's kind of like when I see former players. If Tua's healthy, you start him week 1. It's like, did you play this game? Because, you like saying like really stupid things. You want to play the guy in September when he had a hip surgery in November. You want to play the guy in September when the offensive line is brand new. All these guys don't know each other. They haven't played, and you want to play them. It's certain things that happen in town at times, and that's not a good influence on some of you out there, because you'll see a former whatever player, and they're talking up Kiko Alonso like they can play, and it's like, and you see former players locally, nationally. Oh, no, if Tua can play, no, yeah, play him week 1. Weird, man. Weird stuff, and it's just stupidity that pretty much sets in. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can reach out to us on the Twitter chat board, on the super chat that's been pretty active today. Thank you very much, those of you that have been chiming in. Charles Barkley is one of those guys that We all know, look, he's fun to listen to. He'll say some crazy stuff. He'll say the stuff that some people may not have the balls to say. But also Barkley many times goes off the deep end and says some stupid-ass stuff. Okay? Barkley is guilty of saying really stupid things. And here's the latest one that he said on super teams. Charles Barkley once demanded a trade to the Rockets, right? So he can join Olajuwon, Drexler, and even Pippen also there, right? So on the Zach Lowe podcast, he says, I wouldn't even have counted that as a championship. I'm not going to lie. Me and Karl Malone, if we had won a championship with the Lakers, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Now, let me explain something to Charles Barkley, okay? Now, Charles, I understand his agenda here, that he's trying to justify his whole super team crap stuff, okay? Because at one point, you know, you did have Kareem join the Lakers to help them win titles, right? And the Celtics did not draft Robert Parrish or Dennis Johnson, okay? And I'm pretty sure, right, that a lot of championships are acquired. The Yankees, over the years, acquired players that put them over the top, from Babe Ruth, okay, to all the way down to Paul O'Neill and guys like that, and Reggie Jackson in between. It's normal. The Red Sox, the San Antonio Spurs had to start acquiring people towards the end. The Golden State Warriors acquired Durant. Look, man, when you win a championship, you won a championship. If you made great draft moves, God bless you. If you made great trades, God bless you. If you went by the rules, that's all that matters. So Barkley, by saying if he would have won the title, he wouldn't have counted it, he would have counted it, he would have enjoyed it, he would have bragged about it because it's the only title he has. And Michael Jordan's titles are no less because they added Rodman. Okay? You win a title, it's your title. When the Heat won their titles, I remember I used to hear from some of the Spurs idiots, right? Oh, well, you bought your title, you didn't draft it. Who cares, bro? Who gives a rat's ass how you won it, how you acquired players? Winning is winning. And that Rockets team, what you ended up being was a clown show, Charles Barkley. Maybe that's why you don't want to point at it, because it was a miserable failure, that Rockets get-go of putting all these guys together. Okay? A title is a title. There's no title that's better than another title. The one the Spurs won in 55 or 60 games is as good as the one the Bulls won with 72 wins, because in the end, they both say champion. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter how you acquired the players. Charles Barkley is so full of crap. Okay? His eyes must be brown. That's how full of crap he is at this point. Because that's the dumbest line I have ever heard. That is some pure-ass ignorance on his part. So Ray Bork is not shining up his ring because Boston couldn't win jack. And then they had to get something at the end of his career. They moved him to the Avalanche. And the Avalanche were obviously a prime team, and they won a title. So Ray Bork shouldn't be proud of the title he won with them? Get the hell out of here, bro. He earned that title. They swept the Panthers, and they went through the playoffs and won. Good for him, man. He got his title. It's just, that's what Charles Barkley's saying. Ray Bork's title means nothing. And to me, that's just Barkley opening his mouth and just spewing a ton of hot air. 786-322-1105. Let's go to a little super chat. Michael Mata, thank you, sir. What's up, O? Haven't been watching you live lately, but still listen to your podcast on Spotify when I'm doing my Amazon route. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you, man. That is very nice of you chiming in on the super chat and checking us out, because obviously that's where the majority of the audience is on the downloads and not live. And so everybody doesn't have time always to check us out. Once this whole pandemic, well, it's not over, but it's now winding down. We're going to start working back on getting the Listen Live link going, because that's really important to me right now, to get a Listen Live link, so you're not forced to turn on YouTube. You could just go to BigORadioshow.com and hit Listen Live, and you can just listen to the show anytime there.
Was just thinking of this because Chuck is entertaining. He is, okay?
Yes.
But he can say some stuff that, like,
stupid.
What the hell seriously, man?
Moron.
Can you imagine if Chuck had a ring, as up in your face and everything as he is, if he actually had a ring, would he be worse?
Yeah, no, he would. He would. Yes, he would. But if he had a ring, he would be a hell of a lot happier having a ring, because he actually won something, which, he kind of has to live with. I mean, even Brady took a shot at him, hey, Chuck, you can't play golf. This is about Champions Challenge. So it was it was like one of those deals. You should have watched it. There was a whole bunch. It was actually pretty good.
This bashing of super teams, this is just pure jealousy, man.
That's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. I used to get it all the time. Not because I'm a Yankee fan, but I would get the guys that would call in and complain about the Yankees, and then I would just tell them, are they breaking any rules? And then that's when and so you can't say they're breaking rules because they're not. Okay, so then what's wrong? Now, does baseball have unfair rules? Yeah, of course it does. It puts the Dodgers and it puts the Red Sox and it puts the Yankees and it puts the Cubs at a major advantage over other teams, because they can generate more revenue because of their towns and their TV deals and everything else. But that's baseball's fault. That's not the Cubs' fault. That's not the Red Sox or the Yankees' fault or the Dodgers. And if they can spend and they're allowed and they can pay the tax, then, hey, God bless you, bro. When we had Huizinga, we didn't complain, right? He was willing to spend the money. You know what I mean? When we have Mickey Harrison and he's willing to spend, we don't complain. We got a football owner that if you can go over the cap, I think Stephen Ross would go $500 million over the cap. Seriously. I think Stephen Ross would buy anything and everything possible to win a title. But you can't do that because it's a hard cap. You give Stephen Ross that tax cap that baseball has, forget it. Yeah, he definitely will buy a title.
It'd be a free-for-all, man.
It'd be a free-for-all. But it's the rules. So if the rules allow you to do it, then nobody's breaking any rules.
People were buying teams before. Look, Toronto, the back-to-back with Cito Gaston, that whole team was bought, okay?
The Yankees did it. They started it.
Yes.
They started it with Babe Ruth, bro. They started it with Babe Ruth.
You've been
over
looking
100 years ago.
Look, I remember the year the Marlins won the series. Of the 8 teams, because it was the wild card start, of the 8 teams, only one was not in the top 10 in salaries.
Right.
And that was the team we beat, San Francisco.
Right. Miami was.
Everybody else was in the top.
They were their 5th highest payroll that year.
Now,
in Major League Baseball.
The thing about the Marlins that I will defend, they faced all 4 of the teams that had a better record than them in the course of the year or in the playoffs, and they beat them all head-to-head.
There's nothing
They
to
had
defend.
the 5th best record. We beat the Yankees. We beat
no
Baltimore.
Title
We beat Atlanta, and we beat Cleveland. They were the 4 teams that had better records than us that year. We beat them all head-to-head.
Nobody has to justify or defend any title that they've ever won, whether you're the Dodgers or you're the Yankees or you're the Toronto Maple Leafs or you're the Edmonton Oilers or whatever the hell it is. You earned your titles. You got them, bro. That's it. I don't care how you
Say
got 'em.
Islanders, man. The four Stanley
whatever.
Cups in a row. The Islanders, baby.
It doesn't matter to me. Any of them, bro. Any of them. Anybody that won a title, you earned your title.
That was for Mike No-Go Zone, by the way.
Yeah. However it is you want it, God bless you, man. God bless you. You deserve it, man. Go for it. Did you see Mike Singletary? Mike Singletary was that guy that had an incredible NFL career. He was highly respected as a player, as a leader, the intense eyes, all of that. Became a coach, and obviously because of his character, his attitude, he was a guy that everybody gravitated to. And I think we all wanted to see the natural progression of him becoming a great coach. But like most great players, they end up failing becoming great coaches because it's really, really hard to be a great player and a great coach. And we've talked about this before, that it's, my theory is great players have a hard time understanding why certain people can't do the things they used to do. And they kind of look at everybody like, well, no, you can do it. I did it. And no, they can't because you were great. Not everybody's great. You know what I mean? A lot of us can do a lot of things, but, there's only a few of us that can do some really, really special things. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you can do special things in certain parts of your life, right? And so Mike Singletary coached in the NFL, in the AAF, and now one of the greatest linebackers of all time has stepped down from high school. Okay? Singletary found himself in the news again as the former 49ers head man stepped down as the football coach of a Texas high school, Trinity Christian Academy, Addison. The Dallas Morning News reported on Thursday. The report states the former NFL Defensive Player of the Year made the decision in December after going a combined 1-21 in 2 seasons at the school. 0-11 this past season in 2019.
I would have never have guessed that record.
None of us would have ever guessed anything like this for
Remember,
Mike Singletary.
he's the one that sends Vernon Davis. We don't need him.
Right. And he was wrong, by the way. You do need him. You just got to learn how to work with them. That's the problem, because not everybody's Mike Singletary, and you're not coaching Walter Payton.
Psychotic
and
intense.
You're not coaching the ultimate pro in Walter Payton. You know what I mean? Walter Payton played on some of the worst Chicago Bears teams early on in his career, some terrible offensive lines, and yet he's toasted and roasted the entire NFL and never complained. That's just not today's player, bro. Today's player is about me. It's about my brand. It's about getting some, getting in the highlights. It's all about, and you got to learn how to balance all of this if you're a head coach. And Mike Singletary was that guy that kept getting that chance. And hey, listen, hook, line, and sinker. I'm one of them. No, Singletary's got to be a great head coach. No, yeah, he can't be the problem. It's got to be Vernon Davis. It's got to be the players. It's got to be. And we kind of have learned over the years that Singletary was a problem. He's just not a good coach. He never was a good head coach. And sometimes, whatever success he had, it's kind of like Chad O'Shea. Last year, wait a minute, dude, they had no talent. The offense scored some points. They won 5 games, this and that. What did I tell you guys all throughout the season? After in the offseason when they fired him. I told you it must have been Fitz bailing his ass out, not the coach. And sure enough, that's what it was. It's Fitz bailing him out because he couldn't teach. Yeah, sometimes the success that's there, it's not because of you. It's because the people around you that's what was going to happen, regardless. And whatever successes team-wise he had as a coach, those were aberrations, man. That wasn't him. That man couldn't win at the NFL level, couldn't win at the AAF level, couldn't win at high school. And we're talking about Mike Singletary, bro. I would have never thought that. I thought he was built to be a great head coach. That's the way I looked at middle linebacker, smart, intense. You figure he can motivate people, all of that. He couldn't reach people. He can't reach kids. He can't reach minor league professionals. He can't reach NFL professionals. Wow. I kind of feel bad for him, man. He went 2-6 and had Johnny Manziel in the AAF. Okay? Wow. The Mike Singletary story is one that it is amazing. You know?
But you could definitely see that his way of doing things doesn't connect with today's player at all.
At all. At any level.
He's a throwback to Buckus. You know, that.
Yeah. But again, most great players fail like this. Okay? Just most of them.
Yeah, rare. It's rare.
It's so rare that a great player becomes a great coach. It's so rare, man. There's only a few examples. It's weird. It's normal. What Mike Singletary has gone through, it's normal. Magic Johnson wanted no part of it. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wanted no part of it. It's happened so many times over the years.
Bird got into the playoffs, but he was there for what, about a half a second?
He did pretty good. Considering you look at all these other guys, Bird had many playoff trips.
But he was in and out, man. He was there for a hiccup.
Yeah, but he also ran the team, too, and had a lot of talent on that team for some of his other coaches.
Pacers, man, they're just pain in the ass.
No, Bird has actually had more success than the average great player. The average great player is a failure.
True.
I can't.
I'm just saying, even as successful as he was there for a half a second.
But
man,
as a coach, he had some success. He even made the playoffs. But look at him also as a front office executive. He also had a bunch of success too. So that what I'm saying is, all those teams that gave Miami trouble, those were his teams.
Pacers, man.
Okay,
God,
so
always.
Give Bird a little love. He's actually one of the few that actually had some success. You know what I mean? But again, most guys, it's failure. Now the great fear, yeah, baby. I love it. The great fear has chimed in. Super chat.
No way.
Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat. Thank you, Great Fear. He says, haven't joined you live the last few days, but have caught the replays after. Thanks for giving us South Florida sports fix here in D.C., sending you our music merch soon. We'd love to hear what you think from the Great Fear. All right? Okay. I love it. Little music and merch. Okay. We want to hear some music from the Great Fear. Now, if we play the music from the Great Fear, is YouTube going to put us in jail? That's the problem, bro. You know, it's like I can't play music anymore on this show. I can only play our own theme songs.
What did it take yesterday? What did it take? About a half a second for them to...
Yesterday, we played the Evanescence exchange with 50 Cent at the 2004 Grammys, right? And when they introduced Evanescence for the award, they played a little bit of the tune, like 10, 15 seconds. Within minutes of our show finishing, YouTube sends me an email and says, well, you know, we got to block your video because of the Evanescence, because we played 15 seconds of it. I'm like, oh, man, Bill, we got to remember to play just sound bites and no music whatsoever. So I tell you, the Great Fear, if you guys are going to jam and send us some music, if I don't know if I can play your music without getting in trouble. You know what I mean? Because we had to then go back and mute that video. I mean, it's so ridiculous, man. They get crazy about it just for a couple of seconds that you play.
The way everybody goes to YouTube, and that's my go-to. You know that. I don't do Pandora, the iHeartRadio, YouTube. When I want to hear a song, I want to hear that song.
Yeah.
Okay? And for them to get bent sideways, for actually us playing Evanescence, somebody might go download Evanescence, right? You know?
Yeah.
Exposure.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean,
to condemn us for.
They are phenomenal. Evanescence is an
her
excellent
voice.
band, and her voice is, she's a goddess.
It's just, I can't put this with that and, like, seriously, how's this justified, man?
Yeah.
Come on.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. So, Great Fear, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. Thank you for keeping it locked, and thank you for supporting the show. As always, all of you out there supporting the show like you do every freaking single day. You guys are absolutely awesome.
You've killed another half an hour, I want you to know.
Yeah? Well, what can I tell you?
Not as bad as usual, but, yeah, you definitely, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's there's.
Are you going to say we're in Miami, we live in Cuban time, we grew up in Hialeah?
Yeah, that too.
I use it all the time. Growing up in Hialeah, hey, man, I'm on Cuban time usually.
Yeah, but I got to tell
you. The only time I'm not is for this show.
I'm still shocked that we've had this much to talk about, actually. I don't even know how we've had this much to talk about on the show. I don't even know how we do 3 hours to 4 hours every single day. I have no idea. It's somehow or another.
And it isn't like you're faking it either, man.
No.
You know?
No.
I mean.
No, we find things to talk about, which is cool. Now, it's also helped that the viewing audience has grown. So you guys are constantly in there, and you're interactive, and you're asking questions, and so you extend it a little bit more too. So I appreciate all of you out there because it's like a real talk show now.
Major component, man.
Yeah, because people actually can interact.
It actually is what really kind of makes the show a team, us.
Yeah.
You know, it works perfect.
Yep. RVA Richmond says, send text interference to Kiko. With that said, Kiko has the look as a badass. Oh, I mean, he looks the part, but yeah, you could be on the all-runway team, but are you effective is the question. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with Kiko, that he was just not a good player. That's the main problem with him. He also says, how can anyone listen to Barkley when he approved the way abuse Adrian Peter on his 3-year-old? He claimed that that's the way it's done in the South. I live in the South, and we were disciplined, but not by whips in the testicles. A 3-year-old? Hell no. Yeah, that's just ignorance on his part. Hey, look, man, I don't raise my daughter the way I was raised. Okay? I got hit a lot, bro. I got smacked, hit, belted, all kinds of stuff, spanked in school. So none of our kids really get the kind of upbringing that we got. Some of you out there might be a little out of control and might be doing that because, as you all know, that doesn't work with today's kids. If you haven't learned that yet, beating your kids in today's world, that's just not the way it goes. Okay? Take their cell phones, take their freedoms. That's how you cripple them. That's how you bring them to their knees. Okay? All right? That's how you discipline kids nowadays. But disciplining back in the day compared to now is different. And even for Adrian Peterson, if he had it different, that doesn't mean that it's kind of like the whole Mike Singletary thing. Maybe he might have been a good coach 30, 40 years ago. With his style, might have been able to communicate with players of his ilk. But now that they're different, he has to learn how to communicate differently. I mean, think about it. Were you ever as sensitive? Those of you, I'm sorry, because I generalize when I say when you. Those of you that are 40 plus, okay? Were you ever as sensitive as a kid compared to what you see now in Generation Zs or even millennials, that they take everything literal? Everything. Your parents can tell you back 30, 40 years ago, they would smack you across the head and they would tell you, oye, chico, no comas mierda. You know what I'm talking about? Or, let me do it in English. They'd whack you over the head and they'd say, hey, dumbass, you can't do that. And would you go in a corner and cry for a week and disappear? No. You'd rub your head. Your friends would laugh at you. Your cousin would laugh at you. Your brother or sister would laugh at you. You'd make a joke about it. It'd be a running joke for the next day, obviously, because you got set up. And so you learned how to take that ribbing. You then overcame it because you just rubbed your head and you just moved on. And even if anything made you cry for a moment, you cried, and then 15 minutes later, you were out playing with your friends and you forgot about it.
Not if it was something big, though. If it's something big, you got your butt beat and you got
were in
punished.
the room. Right.
You got both.
Okay, but then you were in the room, and then you just started playing with your toys or whatever, and you adjusted.
Oh, but if you were really, really in trouble, the only thing you got was a book.
Okay, whatever.
There was those.
My point is, it did not linger.
No, whenever it's over, it's over. You brush it off, and
your dad or mom called you an idiot or moron, whatever.
It didn't. You didn't totally fold and melt.
My Lord, bro, whatever. That's it. And then
and crumble.
Yeah, and you moved on, and you forgot about it. You do that to kids nowadays, they'll tell you about it 10 years later.
You don't even have to. You can't even joke with these kids.
You know?
Do you know? Do you know that?
Right.
You can, sometimes I got to say it. My younger niece, man, you say something, you're joking with them, and like been out of shape.
Well, you can't.
My sister will say, "Man, they're just teenage girls."
You no longer can compliment anybody that they look nice, male or female, because that must mean you want to have sex with them right there in that spot. You know, it's just that's the way it is now, right? Back in the day, you could just, hey, you look really nice. All right, thank you. Now you say you look really nice. Hey, you shouldn't say that. I'm going to send you to HR. Huh? You know, so it's a different world, man. You got to learn how, and you got to communicate differently with some of these people. And Mike Singletary, long story short, could not. And that was, that's one of those things. It's just an adjustment for all of us, man. All of us. I teach first and second year college students, and they whine about everything. Any work is too much work. That's what the Raging Dolphin Maniac says. King Short says some kids would have been a lot better for it if they got their ass beat. Just saying. Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Gio says, I was not sensitive living in a Cuban family. They would smack me if I did something wrong. Exactly, bro. Right. Alexa says, I'm sensitive, but I get over it 5 minutes later. I mean, you can't allow it to linger. I mean, it's a moment. You move on. You
man, I can remember in the summertime, Dad come home, man, we did something or didn't do something, and it's line up, man. Here you go. Line up. Let's get the belt.
Philip Campbell says, we all have to admit these ass whoopings our parents gave us made us better people. Yeah, man. You learn your lesson at that moment. That's all. You know that? Tommy says, you can't say nothing without getting fined or some crap. LOL. Yeah. That is very true. That is very true.
Seeing something up there on the TV, McMahon says he won't try to buy back league.
Oh.
So I guess he's trying to unload the XFL.
Oh, yeah, maybe he's still trying to sell it if he can. Mike No-Go Zone says, I got the belt when I was young. It only toughened me up. Of course, man. I mean, give me a break.
I can remember getting cute and hiding the belts in the dryer. My mom turns the dryer on. What the hell is going on? All 4 or 5 of my dad's belts in the dryer. Then we really got in trouble.
We got Myron Sanchez is chiming in for a third time today on Super Chat. Damn, Myron. Wow. You are amazing, Myron. Thank you for the support. It says, the question for both of us is, do you believe in the paranormal? And Bill, too. I don't, man. I don't believe that I do believe that there is life in other worlds, that I believe in. But if you're telling me about ghosts and things like I've never been that guy that I believe in ghosts and things like that. I just don't. That's just not me, man. I guess I have to experience it. You know what I mean? Because I'm the guy that, when I was young, really, really young teenager, the Biltmore Hotel was supposedly, it was closed down back in the day, and it was abandoned there in Coral Gables, and it was considered, haunted and all that
That's
stuff.
a story from when it was a military hospital.
And
13th floor, the whole.
Yeah, and I broke in the middle of the night, went all the way to the top. I didn't get to the bell, but almost all the way to the top, and we did those challenges, make sure that the security didn't catch us. Things that I remember the cemetery that's right on 8th Street and 32nd Avenue. We used to go in it at night also, and they used to talk about it being, haunted and all that stuff. And so to me, I've never been that guy. I've never been fearful of any of that stuff. I kind of laugh at it. So I am not a believer in the paranormal. Okay? Now, I do believe there is other life out there. That's not paranormal. That's extraterrestrial life. It may look just like us. It may look like those Martians we've been drawing since we were kids. I don't know. But I can't believe that somebody created only us and this one world with inhabitants. When there are worlds all over and universes all over, there has to be more. Okay? So that I would go with. So there has to be a cantina somewhere where everybody's gathered and Moss Isley and hanging out somewhere. There has to be a cantina in Moss Isley somewhere. So what do you think about paranormal?
I don't put it outside the realm of possibilities, man.
Oh, you think it could? Yeah, okay.
There's too many people that have, in documentaries and this, and it's within the realm of possibility.
You think it's possible? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I guess I would have to physically experience it to believe that it exists. I would have to.
I've seen some pictures of
my wife believes in it.
Orbs and stuff. I mean, when my girlfriend passed away, it just really weird the way this picture came out. She was makeup art, and the way the tree looked like freaking eyelashes, and there's like an orb looking thing.
Yeah.
It's my sister was all over it. And I'm like, yeah, it's definitely, I see something and it's weird, and yeah, I get it, and it makes sense.
Hey, it's a possibility. I mean,
right.
when I go to Disney World and the haunted house, that guy jumps in the car, and
the three of them, they're trying to hitchhike.
Yeah, the guys that are hitchhiking. Somebody hitchhikes every time I go to Disney, so it's possible. No, but all kidding aside, it's never been me, man. I just have never been that guy.
Look, football team, we're 10 years old, and trip for the team, blah. We go to Disney World, right? And of course, we're, haunted house and stuff. And, me and a couple friends, and the guy reaches back and is actually like touching my hair, and he starts freaking out because it's like, oh my God, it's real. And it's like, no, dude, that's me, you moron.
Myron says, watch TVL Paranormal Caught in Camera. Oh, and Bill. Watch TVL. Is that on YouTube, or is that TVL? Is that like on a regular channel? What is TVL, Myron? You got to tell me what that is.
I'll tell you one spot they say, Gettysburg, and I don't know if you've been to Gettysburg, man, but that Arlington Cemetery, getting goosebumps and like feeling it, like, man, yeah, with the outside of the realm of possibility, yes, definitely within the realm of possibilities.
Ty says, I got the belt from my father and the extension cord from my mother, a double whammy, ouch. John Rouse is in the house, says, watch the show Paranormal Caught on Camera. Okay, but are they real, or are they doing fake stuff on the camera? You know what I'm saying? Because it's TV, so they can play with your mind. You know what I'm saying? That's the part I don't know. Are they real? Is it a real ghost that you're seeing or something? But I'll check it out, guys. Okay? I'll check it out. All right? Thank you all out there, man. You guys are amazing for the support that we get every single day here on the show. All right. Were you going to say something?
I'm just sitting here looking at it, and it's, you cruising right along.
Yes, sir.
Doing the Big O thing.
Yep. Yes, we are. And speaking of that Rams fan, because I was telling you about Jalen Ramsey, he says he won't hold out for that Rams fan. Ramsey was set to make $13.7 million in the final year of his rookie contract. Told reporters and his agent and the team are on the same page. He's confident things will work out one way or another. The Rams know where I stand, and I think that's all that matters at the end of the day. So we'll see. They traded 2 first-round picks and a 4th rounder for that guy.
You're all in sideways, man.
You have no choice. It's like the Tunsil thing. You have to give them
Yeah.
whatever they ask, and they've got you by the balls. When you make these kind of deals,
you've showed your hand.
And but you have to make the contract during the deal, and you end up saving money too. Now you end up paying even more because now you gotta wait, and now you know that he's playing out his final year, and you don't want to deal with tags because that'll be a lot of money.
You always talk about that. Do not negotiate in that last year, man. You do that in the second to last, and you save yourself a little money.
Yeah.
Always,
and
right?
Hard cap money, yeah. And if you end up tagging him, it'll be hard cap money. And what you were saying about Vince McMahon, the prospect of McMahon trying to buy the league came up by Daniel Kaplan from The Athletic, and noted objections are raised by the league's creditors last week. Those creditors objected to a proposal made in bankruptcy proceedings because they believe McMahon was moving to position himself to acquire the debt at a fire sale price after the league returned to halt from COVID-19. Kevin Seifert of ESPN reports that McMahon made a filing of his own in bankruptcy court on Tuesday that said, I'm not going to be the bidder for the league. He called claims to the contrary inflammatory rhetoric and unsubstantiated accusations. Now, that doesn't mean he can't have somebody else do it for him and he controls it. You know what I mean?
Silent partner.
Yeah, It's kind of like when Trump says the kids are running the business, and yeah, sure they are. Sure they are, dude. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure the kids are running the business. They're not taking your word for it when you say, no, do this, and they don't change. Come on, man. You know what I mean? So McMahon could be, again, playing the game,
Oh, well, he's such a hands-off guy. He doesn't meddle in anything. Keep hands off type.
Yeah, give me a break, dude. Come on. All right, we got to wrap it up here on the program. Unfortunately, we can only do 3 hours today.
Yeah, you only did 50 minutes in a row to close.
3 hours today. That's all. Jawad on Twitter, because I tweeted out, it's interesting the reason why people want their freedoms. They use a fake excuse like rights violations to mask their stupidity. And then Jawad comes back at me on Twitter and goes, to mask their stupidity. I see what you did there.
Watching some of the Ozark, like in this, and I guess Alabama, they were in the Gulf, blah, whatever. And this lady literally is quoting this is like the flu. Still. And it was just like, wow, okay, all right.
You got people that still think it's the flu, man. In a few months now, 100,000 people have died. The flu doesn't do those kind of things, but whatever. It is what it is.
Doesn't even do half or 40% of that in a year.
This thing will finish your ass out, dude. And those of us that have pre-existing conditions, like Bill and myself, we catch this thing, we are terrified, bro. Tommy Italian 305 chiming in again on the Super Chat.
No way.
Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super Chat. Thank you, Tommy Italian 305 for life, baby. 3 times today, along with Myron. Both guys chimed in 3 times in the Super Chat. You guys are are too kind there, man. It's awesome.
Thank you, thank you.
It's awesome the way you guys support us every single day here on the show. We are going to wrap it up.
We're here again tomorrow. No field trip.
Yes, no field trip. We're in studio again tomorrow. Thursday and Friday are our field trips. Thursday, we'll be out at Toyota of Hollywood. Friday, we're going to be out at Craig's Inn, Acura of Pembroke Pines, like always. I think next month we get back to going to Hialeah Park, I think, towards the end of the month, if I'm correct. So that's coming back, too, here on the program. So we got a bunch of things developing here on the show, as always. So thank you all out there, as always, for your amazing support. I love you all out there. Thanks to Bill and Philippe doing their thing, audio and video.
Thank you, brother.
No problem.
Amazing.
We just try to survive. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share the link with folks, all right? Send the link to folks out there and tell your friends and family members we're here every single day. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Be good. Be safe. Much love out there.
Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.